judging a book by its cover. Guilty as fuck. Like, guilty as fuck. And everybody I talked to that was like there while we were, I mean, we sat there till fucking 4 o'clock this afternoon from 8. Everybody was like, yeah, she's going away.
In a world, 4 friends, 1 mission, to bring freedom to everyone involved.
Dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Doing a thing for the podcast.
Dude, just say the name.
Fine. It's the Freedom Friends Podcast.
Is it something that can be recorded?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I got a question.
Uh-oh.
Is it gay? If.
Yes.
Yeah. If you have to ask.
If you have to ask,
yes.
it's probably
No, this
yes.
is a good one. Okay, so say you are very anti-pedophile and you get thrown in jail for killing pedophiles.
Hero.
While in jail, you took no sexual pleasure in it, but you raped a guy who was a pedophile. Is it gay?
It's that age-old saying, I'm not gay, but my boyfriend is.
I don't even think it's your boyfriend at that
So,
point, right?
no.
No, but it qualifies the same way.
I know that.
Hold
like,
on.
no, I'm
did
not
you rape
gay.
him? Did you rape him with your dick,
Yes, but
or did you use like a broom handle?
Or did
well,
because if you raped him with your butthole, that's way different. That's totally gay. That is totally gay.
My mental picture is amazing right now.
You're welcome.
Of someone just raping someone else with their butthole.
But that's gay. But
we came to the agreement earlier that it's not gay.
no.
So in
If
prison,
it's-
I know
if it's a hate bang.
it's not considered.
It's a.
Apparently, and I wish
Isn't that a
Gary was here.
band?
I wish Gary was here to answer this, but I'm sure we'll ask him this question when he gets here
Yeah.
because he'll probably show up. I know that in prison, a lot of times that prison sex is not considered gay because it's like any port in a storm. So it's like you get like a prison pass.
I
It's
don't
like
know.
I'm not really gay.
No, I feel like I'm about to get some sort of like, when you're on float, it's not gay.
No,
like-
it's still gay if you're underway. That's bullshit, all right?
Yeah, like,
but apparently there's some sort of like within their like societal like norms in the prison system. It's not gay if you're in prison type of shit.
So if you're a career felon, you just get a pass if you're locked up.
fucking don't. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a career felon. But apparently that's part of the whole thing. I'm as confused as you are on this. But by that rationale, then I guess no, it wouldn't be gay. But I'm pretty sure that penetrating a man's asshole with your penis is gay.
Only if you enjoy it.
I think so.
No,
Yeah.
it's not Scott
I feel
anymore.
like in Scott's situation,
It's not. It's a hypothetical situation.
it's Scott's hypothetical situation.
Thank you.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
That's not gay.
Especially if you make like a little barbed wire dick extension.
Because it's not like Scott was at a bar one night, like hanging out with the dude.
If they're gonna die as a result of the rape, then it's murder. It's
Well,
not rape.
No, that's only.
we
They don't-
just said like if you have like a barbed wire dick extension,
Yeah, but
that's
they-
gonna murder them.
No, I didn't
then
say
it's
it would
not
murder them. It's not that.
rape.
It's not that long, even with an extension.
Yeah, but if you rip open someone's asshole with fucking barbed wire, bro, they're probably gonna die.
But there's a fucking medical thing. Like,
Oh, I'm sure that the fucking medical treatment is fucking. It's got to be better than the VA, right?
100%.
Probably not.
No,
it's
yes.
probably VA doctors.
No,
No.
they have to see you.
Prison
100
doctors probably fucking moonlight as VA doctors.
100% prison medical is better than the VA.
I disagree. It's probably the same guys.
No, you.
I would say
mean,
that they moonlight as
you
fucking
watch
like,
any TV show you watch, and
They're
there's
second-
guys constantly getting sent down to medical.
sure for stabbing and shit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You don't hear about that shit in the fucking VA system. People never get fucking seen. They're like, yeah, just hang out in the waiting room. Well, we might get to you.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think it's gay. I think it's still gay.
okay. All right. Well,
I mean, now if there's murder involved, then it's murder. Then it's not gay. Then you're just being a sadistic prick murdering someone. Which, by the way, deserves it because they're a pedophile.
Wait, hold on.
Can't you be sadistic without murder?
No.
What if I raped you with my butthole to death?
You can't answer a call and then fucking interrupt us, all right?
Yeah, I
You can answer a call and then fucking join the conversation and interrupt. You're literally agreeing with me. What you just said is exactly my point.
Oh. Well, no,
because then it turns into a murder.
But if I did it via raping with my butthole.
If you raped with your butthole to murder someone?
Yeah.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around how someone would rape someone with their butthole. I don't know. Do you remember a few years ago there was that weird case of that chick that raped the dude by putting a pencil in his dick to keep it hard?
Oh no.
Yeah, it was fucked up, man. Like she tied this dude up and put a pencil down his dick hole to keep it hard and then fucked him all the time.
Oh
yeah,
no.
It was fucked up. He died. She's in prison, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
That can't be good for her.
From what,
either.
lead poisoning?
I think he got sepsis. I don't know. But
tomato.
I don't know. Google that. See if you can find it.
It's dehydration.
Because I want that on your Google search.
God, I don't want to fucking Google it. We've Googled a lot of fucked up shit, and I'm good to pass on this one. Not gonna lie.
Our listeners want to know, bro. While he's doing that, brought to you by warfightertobacco.com. Use that code FTFO. That'll score you that sweet 15% off. Of course, Icy Tech coolers for those hot days in the Texas sun or wherever the fuck you're at. Use that code FreedomFriends10. That'll get you 10% off over there. And CBD needs are something that we all enjoy. And wellness.us has what has what you need. Use that code FreedomFriends25 and that'll get you a quarter off your order over there. Fuck boys. Now that we're clearly already involved in a weird fucking conversation.
So I can spin off of that. I was summoned for jury duty today.
Did you get raped with your butthole?
No, and I didn't rape anybody with my butthole either. But I was informed that I can talk about what I learned while I was there. So there's this very nice lady named Tina, probably mid-50s. She got charged with alleged theft of something between the value of $2,500 to $30,000.
That is a window.
It's a pretty big
That's
window.
A hell of a window,
right?
yeah.
And she definitely looked like she did it. Definitely. Like when I walked in and then they were introducing, like if
you were judging book by the cover,
fucking guilty all day, all day. Like
can we just change the system to that?
Right?
They introduced the state. That's literally idiocracy.
Like they're standing behind a piece of glass and they're like, and charged with this, we have contestant number 1, and then like the glass like goes from like milky white to clear, and it's like vote now, and you're just like, oh shit.
No, I'm into it.
So they introduced the state, and
that's the real jury of your peers.
And they were like, whatever.
Right,
and then they introduced the defense, and it was the lawyer, his clerk or assistant, and then some chick. And when they got to like the introducing part, they like, and this is the defendant, Lisa, whatever the fuck her name was,
Tina.
And I'm like, or Tina, sorry,
not gonna be on the outside for long.
And so, but I was like, man, it's kind of interesting that the defendant is here as they're doing the jury selection. And I'm like, I mean, whatever it is, she didn't say a word, like, whatever, but still judging a book by its cover. Guilty as fuck. Like guilty as fuck. And everybody I talked to that was like there while we sat there till fucking 4 o'clock this afternoon from 8. Everybody was like, yeah, she's going away.
Should have wrapped that pig in a dress or something.
Yeah, right.
I don't fucking know. I got stuck in an elevator, just her and I.
Was it a public defender?
It was.
Okay.
And it was funny too because
you and the defendant got stuck in an elevator together?
Yeah.
How'd that work?
It was pretty funny. Because I was like,
John's all like, you so happy I didn't get picked.
No,
like, I was putting you away.
As soon as the doors closed, I'm like, I'm not supposed to talk to you. And she just like kind of like gave me this weird look, and I'm like, don't talk to me. And she's just all looking at me weird, and the doors open, and I just fucking walked out. I was like,
don't you talk to me, bitch.
Don't fucking talk to me. You can't influence this jury.
That's fucking funny. So you didn't get picked.
I didn't get picked.
But you learned. But you did your civil duty by showing up, and you learned a thing or two.
They went through the process, and it was really cool. Kind of how they did it. This is my first time doing jury duty. So like when they were questioning all the potential jurors, they were questioning them on like beliefs. Like, do you believe in constitutional rights? Do you believe in the Fifth Amendment? But it wasn't like a straight up open ended, like, do you believe in the Fifth Amendment?
Sounds to me like somebody's rights might have got violated,
They'd
and that's why they're fucking fighting against it. This just came off.
Oh,
They'd put you in a scenario, like they'd ask.
I'm just gonna fucking.
They'd ask questions in a scenario, and if somebody answered weird, they'd kind of go off of that and keep asking more questions directed at certain people, and ask who agree, and if people held them up.
What do
and
they
I'm
mean? Do I believe in the Fifth Amendment? Like it's a thing?
No, like,
Is it real?
No, like
is this
so.
like-
How they worded it was like,
Which one of these is real? The Fifth Amendment or unicorns?
no, how they worded it was like, if the defendant does not testify, are you okay being a juror without hearing her side of the story?
100%. She's an idiot, but sure.
Yeah,
But
well,
like,
no, dude. Like like 90% of defense attorneys would rather go through the entire proceeding with the fucking jury never hearing word one from their fucking defendant.
100%.
that's because most criminals are idiots.
Well, no,
Yeah.
because any testimony is evidence.
Yeah. Can and will be used against you type of shit. And if you get a chance as a prosecutor, if you get the chance to fucking turntable on a fucking defendant,
Oh, game on.
oh, right? It's fucking,
Yep.
But every time, I'm not going to lie, and I have been summoned for jury duty, but didn't get to like be a juror. I didn't even like get in the room. They were just like, from this number down, you're done. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
all white males
cool.
can leave.
Like, I
Yeah.
kind of wanted to, because even though
And,
I thought she was guilty as fuck,
It would be cool to see the proceeding.
and unless they, beyond reasonable doubt, proved her that she did it, that
and
she
you know
was
what?
guilty.
And I genuinely believe that you would have stuck to that and been like, I've been
100%.
like, they didn't prove it,
That
so
was it.
she's
You-
getting
like,
off.
That's it. Like, I know
Yeah.
she fucking did it, but you didn't put it in front of me stating that that it was beyond reasonable
It's like,
doubt.
I think she did it. Well, look at OJ.
Yeah.
Everybody
And
thinks he fucking did it.
And it has to be. And it has,
Everybody
it
thought
has
he
to
did
be
it.
unanimous on
Yeah.
that, in that court. It had to be unanimous.
OJ was guilty in civil court.
He was found liable.
I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, but he was fucking found
Criminal
not
side,
guilty.
not guilty.
Yeah.
Civil side,
Yeah.
give me
Liable.
That, give me that money.
So the defense attorney got his turn to ask questions after the state did, and one of the ways that he was trying to prove, fitness of an expert, fitness that, like, if a police officer comes and testifies, do you judge him based on his looks
Yes.
or his certifications, or do you let him prove to you whether he's like trustworthy or not, essentially, while he's on the stand? I can't think of the word they used. And so the guy used a skydiving analogy for it.
Perfect.
And he's like, we have 72 people in the room. 3 parachutes had holes in them, but I fixed the holes in them. And I'm a certified instructor and rigger and all this stuff. And I have all my certificates to prove it. And now we're all going to go jump out of a plane. And 3 of you had chutes that had holes in them.
Jump it.
And
That's why I got a
people,
second one.
And then people are like, well, I don't know. So we click the next slide and it's like a bullshit fucking, instructor certification. And so I'm like laughing. I'm like, haha. And so, and like almost everyone's like, no, I'm not jumping. I don't care if it's fixed. How do you know there's not holes in the rest of them, and blah, blah, blah. And so he goes through this whole thing to like kind of go down rabbit holes of different people trying to get their answers. And, it kind of shows a lot about their character and how they answer
Right.
questions and stuff.
What's the math on that? Don't shoot still work if like as long as like 60% of the silk's intact or
a
whatever?
hole no bigger than the size of your helmet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hole no bigger than the size of your head, dog.
I don't know. I got a big ass
And
head.
almost all the chutes have 2 of them in
In
it.
your
I
case,
probably have
yes, in
problem.
your case, you might want to fucking.
You're good because you're light.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're probably fine.
It's head to weight ratio.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like 70% of my body weight's in
you're-
my skull.
yeah, you're like a fucking pop vinyl. So
Yeah, it's true. It's fucking
So
true.
he goes through all these questions about fixing the parachutes and who wants to jump them and all this stuff, and everyone's like, no. And so he's like, okay. Or he never asked who wants to jump him. The last question that he asked is, who would jump out of that plane? And I raised my hand. And I had my number hanging up and raised my hand. The guy's like 63, and he looks around and he's like, you're the only one. He's like, why would you jump out of that plane? I'm like, because I got a reserve. And the guy's like, fuck. And I'm pretty sure that's why I didn't get selected.
it's like fuck with the. You asked that question to an airborne guy, man.
I got another shoot, bro.
I've jumped other chutes with probably worse fucking damage, man.
It's like that dude knew.
Let me tell
Like,
you about T10s.
he left out the part of the story where it was the Cessna you had to go up in.
Yeah.
I know, right?
It's like, what
Holy
plane am I in,
parachute
man?
or this airplane? Oh, holy parachute.
What plane am I in? A Cessna? I'm out. I'm out. I something interesting happened to me over the weekend, fellas. So well, Saturday, Scott and I ran into each other. There was an event down at the Tobin Center for a veteran organization that I got invited to.
Does the Tobin Center just not make you feel like you're either the bougiest motherfucker on the planet or completely out of place?
It was pretty cool.
It's an awesome place.
It's a great spot.
But you go and you're either just like, well, fuck, I'm drinking everything with my pinky out in this motherfucker. Like, or you go and you're like, I'm in the wrong
The best
place.
bourbon they had was Makers. So
no, I'm not saying the bar is good. It's just like the environment that you're in. You're just like,
I showed up and I said,
fancy.
I'm drinking everything in this environment.
yeah. I was drinking
left it
vodka.
at that.
If that tells you anything.
with the pinky out.
No.
Tobin Center's nice.
It was
I
very
like that
nice.
place.
And I was like, we were dressed up, button ups and fucking suit jackets and shit. San Antonio formal, as they say.
Oh, so something with buttons and denim that doesn't have holes in it.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I wore my Ariats. Thank you, Jess. Both boots and pants.
They're good for everything.
Fucking nailed it, man. Same ones I wore to the Hero Sports fucking banquet
They're good for
earlier this
everything.
year. Like,
Do that-
actually, I want to say it was the exact same outfit I wore, same shirt and everything. I only have a couple. That I give
I'll
a
say
fuck
you only
about.
have like 3 shirts with buttons.
Yeah. Like, but so I was there. Myself, Barker, his wife showed up together and ran into Scott and Michelle. And we hung out there for a little bit, and I had to actually leave early because I had another event. Satmar had its monthly meetup out here at Blue Bonnet Palace.
Mhm.
So we get out there. Not a huge turnout of Marines, but still a good time. Always have a good time out of Blue Bonnet. If you guys are ever in Selma, Texas, it's a great fucking concert venue, and it's pretty fun. It's good. It's a fun bar to go to.
Apparently, there used to be a driving range there.
Right next door, yeah. Yeah, it only got shut down maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's got like heavy construction equipment in it or some shit.
Yeah, Cat moved in,
Yeah.
right there. So I was over there. One of my buddies, great dude, good friend of mine. He's a Marine veteran. We have very, very different resumes when it comes to the military. Like, he was a cook. I definitely was not. He didn't stay in that long. I stayed in for a long time. I did a lot more hooking and jabbing, but still a Marine and in great shape. Very good dude, right? He got a little drunk because it was $2 beers before 11, so he decided to power hour himself through it. Got a little fucked up and then refused to give his keys up. Wouldn't give his keys. One of the guys tried to put him in a fucking headlock. Didn't work because the guy wasn't trying to really do it, he was an older gentleman, a little on the weaker side. My buddy Jonathan is his name. He's in pretty good shape, so he turned around on him real quick, and I thought he was going to fuck up the old guy. So I proceeded to figure for that ass. So I put him in a rear naked. About 3 seconds later, he's out, just asleep, and I lay him down nice, and I get in his pocket, and I grabbed his keys. And I called his wife. And they were like, "Hey, I can give him an Uber. I can take him home with me, or you can come get him." She's like, "I'll come get him. We'll drive his truck home." And I was like, "Cool." So yeah, but it was funny. One of the door guys saw it happen, and he called his buddies. Was like, "Somebody just choked out another one back in the back where all the Marines are." So they all, like 4 or 5 of them, come running up like they're gonna do something, and.
Screaming Roadhouse while they did it.
Right. Well, I'll get to that guy. I'll get to the cleaner or the
There's
cooler in a minute.
always that guy.
There's always one chest puffer. Absolutely. But the first guy that saw it happen, he goes, "Dude, that was fucking awesome." He's like, I wish my buddies did that shit for me. He's like, "That's fucking cool." And I was like, "Yeah, man." And then the head door guy was like the older gentleman wearing a cowboy hat. You could tell he was in charge, right? He walked up and was like, "Nice." Points at his unit crest that's tattooed on his shirt or on his arm and shit. He's like, "Nice." And I was like, "Fucking A." He gives me a fist bump and shit. And then there's Chef Buffer, who walks up and he gets real close to me and he goes, "Just so you know, if you choke somebody else out, you got to leave." And I was like,
I would have choked him out on the spot.
I did,
What's that?
I did something better. I went, "Okay, you're adorable." Boop. And I booped his ass. And then they all leave and shit. It's towards the end of the night anyways. So like I was done drinking. I planned on driving him home, and then they were like, "No, his wife's coming." I was like, "All right, cool." So I go out front and I'm waiting with him. And the old guy comes up to me and he's like, "It's good to see that, guys are still policing their own," type of shit. I was like, "Yeah, man." I was like, "You do need to talk to your one door guy." I was like, "Who's the kid with the braces?" And he's like, "Oh, so-and-so." And I was like, "Yeah, you need to talk to that one." And he's like, "Why?" I was like, "If a platoon-sized element of Marines are drinking and he wants to act hard, tell him to go find the frat kids on the other side of the bar."
Yeah.
And I was like, because it could have ended real fucking badly for him real fucking quick. And, and he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You're a big dude." So he was like, trying to fucking flex a little bit. And I was like, he needs to learn to pick his battles because he's got about 40 pounds and about 10 years before he tangles with daddy. And he was like, yep, I hear you, man. I hear you, bro. Like he knew. But, you know, and credit to my boy Jonathan, the next day he shoots me a text. He's like, thanks, buddy. And I was like, you got it, man. You do the same for me. Yeah. And he's like, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I was like, yeah, dude, absolutely. Anytime.
Just goes to show that Marines are weird as fuck.
Well,
Hey,
but I would
I want
expect,
to say thanks for choking me
I
the
would
fuck out
expect any
last
of
night.
you guys, if I was drunk and fucked up and wanting to drive and you were trying to get my keys, and I would expect John to fucking wrap my ass the fuck up.
Here's the deal is, I have been with
you.
you drunk.
Yeah.
And you're self-aware enough
Usually.
that like you just go like, yeah, I'm gonna
sleep in this car.
Yeah. Either I'm gonna sleep in the car.
Yeah.
Or
While
if I
it's
walked
going
up
down
to
the
you
road.
and we were fucking hammered and I'd be like, bro, need like just keys. And you'd be like, I'd be like, I'll make sure you get home. But give me your fucking keys and your truck will be there when you get up in the morning. But give me your fucking keys. Like,
well, and normally he's that kind of guy too, which is why this was super out of character for him. He was fucking hammered. Like, I mean, he power houred like 6 beers in 2 hours type of shit, a couple shots. Like he power houred and he was fucked up. And he even the next day, he's like, I don't know why the fuck I was saying the shit I was saying, man. Yeah. He was like, it was a little concerning, but it was odd, dude. But fucking,
I did a similar thing. I was in Arizona. We had a party at my house, and one of the dudes I was over there, guy's name's Randy Hooper. He ended up passing away a couple months after this incident due to a motorcycle accident. But prior military guy, Army infantry, great dude. I've known him for a couple of years. When we were fucking shit faced at my house. Yeah, and he's like, "I'm gonna leave," and I'm like, "No, the fuck, you're not." You know,
that's not a thing, bro.
Like, you're not. You can call it, and this is before Ubers and shit. I'm like, you call a cab. I got a fucking spare bedroom. You can stay here. I was like, but you're not fucking leaving. And he's like, oh, I'm fine. I'm like, okay, look. I'm like, we're gonna go in the backyard and we're gonna fucking grapple. And if I tap you out, you're not driving. If you win, you do whatever the fuck you want. And he's like, okay. And like, famous last words. I know how shit-faced he was. And I'm like, my fucking sister could have beat him up. Yeah. You know? And I'm like, let's go do this. And
yeah, but your sister's kind of a badass.
I should know how to grapple.
She'll fuck you up verbally and then make you like, yeah, fuck.
So in the backyard,
sorry.
Fuck around for a little bit.
This is fucking killing me.
Tapped him out. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm turning on this fucking fan.
But yeah, so he tapped and we stood up and he reached in his pocket, handed his keys and gave it to me. And he's like, fucking, you win. And I'm like, sweet. I was like, we'll laugh about this in the morning.
Yeah. So Gator hunts.
I went on a Gator hunt this past weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Piney Woods Service Association. They're a nonprofit out of East Texas, out by Jasper, Texas.
Is that the one that your buddy signed you up for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And great group of dudes. They had a fleet of airboats. We had 5 airboats that we just fucked around with the whole weekend.
That's fun.
It was awesome.
I saw your video. It looked fucking dope.
It was so fun.
Yeah. I've never been on one.
On an airboat?
Yeah.
Oh, they're cool.
Dude, Womack's going.
Yeah.
I didn't Gator hunt with him. It was like
you
cold.
Don't have to.
That's
we
true.
didn't either.
Dude, it's cold as shit when I was there.
Now, how these guys, they run it's called Sprayco, and they do like a pesticide company. And so like their job every single day is to go fuck around on airboats and spray like this certain type of shit that's like kills marshes and whatever. I don't know. But so these guys can drive the fuck out of some airboats. Like,
yeah.
They're really, really good. Like they're threading needles through stuff and everything. And I'm like, you've done this before. But so we went out. I didn't get one. But we ended up getting 3 out of the 4 guys that were there. I put a river bait. I was going after a big fucker. The rest of the guys got, I think the smallest was 8'6", the biggest was 9'2". So they're right between 8 and 9.
What would you consider a huge gator? Like what? I don't know. Like what if that's average or not.
In my opinion, 11 and a half plus. Like once they get to about 11 feet, as soon as the head breaks the surface, there's a drastic difference between like an 8 to 10 foot gator and like an 10 and a half plus.
Okay.
And like it's almost, it looks like their head is almost double the size in width and length.
Yeah.
Like it's a big difference. And these were skinny fuckers. But yeah, so one of the dudes that pulled one, like we broke off in pairs. So I put my line out and the guy that was on the same boat as me put his line out. And he's like, I just want the experience, but I don't want to keep anything, you know? And I'm like, well, fuck. I'm like, okay, we'll figure it out at the end of the weekend, I guess. And so I have pictures of a gator swimming underneath my bait, but he never got it on the last day, and I was so pissed. But whatever, there's nothing I can do about it. But the bait that he put out, the gator fucking Epsteined himself.
What do you mean?
He
hung himself?
Pretty much. So he took the bait and then he went
Hillary
through.
Clinton came and fucking.
He went
murdered
through
him?
every fucking like shit that was under the water, all the weeds and everything, and like rolled through all of it and got entangled in all these fucking weeds. And it was so heavy he couldn't surface to get air, and he drowned.
Get the fuck out
So
of
when
here.
we pulled him up, like there's like a foot sticking up, and I'm like, I don't think this one's lively. And so we did the eyeball test and didn't blink. And we're like, this one's dead. And then we literally spent 15 minutes pulling weeds off this gator.
Saved a round.
Yeah.
I would have shot him anyway.
So one of them got stabbed after it got shot. It was one of the zombie gators. Didn't really want to die.
Yeah.
And the other one was just fucking clean through and through. Well, not through. It stuck. But it was still, they were state tags. They were state management tags that we were using. So we had a 24-hour window. We had noon on Saturday to noon on Sunday. That was it. And we had the state was out there, and we had game wardens and TPWD and all kinds of people that were around. So everything had to be like by the book.
They are rolling deep this year.
It was insane.
Dude,
the good thing was I got to talk to
fucking
all
deep.
these dudes for a weekend, and almost all of them were cigar smokers. And I'm like fucking handing them out like candy. I'm like, here you go, guys. My name's John Simons.
Use that code FTFO. Screw yourself that sweet 15%
Right.
off.
But so the dude that got one that didn't want it, that it didn't even get shot. I ended up keeping the hide and the head from it.
So
And,
you got that.
yeah. So I got that.
But
And-
you know you have to pay for taxidermy though.
but I found there's a way around it.
Go on.
So I have it in a cooler at my house, and I'm going to salt it, and then I'm going to send it to a place in Florida, and they charge $37 a foot for the hornback. So it'll come out to just under $300.
Where in Florida is it?
God, I don't know.
I got to drive there next week. Maybe I can drop it off for you.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, find out.
But I guess it's one of the guys that used to be on like Swamp People, started his own taxidermy thing.
Huh.
Yeah. And, but that's who they've used for years, and they come back good. So I'm like, fuck, it's way cheaper.
Because if I just got to like drag a cooler over there, if I'm already going that way.
No, so I got to salt it for like 10 days and then package it up and then ship it to them. That's probably the easiest way to do it.
What kind of salt?
Just regular salt. Just like,
You just dump salt in there?
yeah. And it sucks all the moisture out of it.
Well, I know that, but thank you.
Yep. And then I'm going to attempt a Euro mount on the skull and see how that works out.
Well, that you just need to take it to the place where they've got the beetles. Those
I think
flesh-eating
I'm just
beetles,
gonna
right?
boil it. Yeah, but I think I'm just gonna boil it because if I go get flesh-eating beetles and then once I'm done, the fuck do I do with the beetles?
I could take them out.
I don't want to let them like loose in the green belt.
Take them out to Pipe Creek. Drop them out there.
Right.
Yeah. Looking. How big's the skull?
I don't know about this big.
Oh, so you could find a pot that'll fit it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All
It
right.
was only so this gator was 9 feet on the dot. So,
Huh.
But what I want to do is I want to get 2 little poles so I can prop the top of his jaw open, and he has his 2 bottom teeth are perfectly in a V, and so I'm gonna Euro mount it, prop his nose open, and then put an ashtray inside his mouth and use the 2 teeth as a cigar rest.
Okay.
Yep, just put it on my desk.
Nice.
It's very gator hunter of you.
Yeah. What else am I gonna do with it?
I have no idea.
You know,
I have no idea. So in the Amtrak community, like our fucking whole thing is gators, right?
Mhm.
Like we're amphibious, so it's like a lot of people call our tractors gators and stuff like that. Like anytime you go on fucking float or anything, it's always Gator 1, Gator 2, shit like that, right? So like a lot of times when people retire, they'll get gator head fucking plaques,
Yeah.
right? And they're always sometimes they're like Euro mounted where it's just skull.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the whole fucking head
Yeah. They
that's
freeze
stuck to
dry
it. Yeah.
Yep.
And I've always wondered, I'm like, other than a plaque, the fuck do you do with them? Because people have them all the time.
Put
And
them
I'm
on
like,
a coffee table. That's the only place I've seen them.
yeah, yeah. Well, like Womack's got those fucking giants.
Those are monsters. Yeah.
Those are fucking
Yeah.
that fucking wide. And
That's what I was shooting for because there's been a couple 12-footers that they spotted that were out there, and there's like a half sunken boat, and there's a 12-footer that hangs out by that thing, and I'm like, yep, that's mine. But I never got it.
You also scuba dive. I'm just saying, don't be a bitch.
I have no problem diving in a place that has gators. No, I really don't. Because unless you go into where their fucking like den area is, they're not going to fuck with you. They genuinely.
Well, that's
don't
how
give a
you
shit.
go.
Yeah,
and
but you
get
could
him.
essentially just reinvent the dog and knife hunt.
Yes.
Just
Yeah, but
tank and knife
You
hunt.
can't, you can't see in that water.
Fuck all that, dude. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Actually, Scott, so there was a lot of fun stories and conversations that were had with the guys who were out there. There's probably 40 people out there for 4 hunters. Met a whole bunch of really awesome dudes. There's a guy out there that has some property out in East Texas that is 100% on board to doing hog fishing.
Hog fishing.
Yes. And so I explained to him that I have a friend named Scott who wants to chop a head off a hog with a samurai sword. But in the wild, not like, a dead one.
Not hanging up.
And so he's like, how the fuck would you do that? I'm like, it's easy. You put a guy in a tree stand with some bait on a hook and you hook that motherfucker, and Scott jumps out of a tree and goes, shink. And the guy's like, oh, how come I've never thought of that? He's like, I'll be right back. And he grabs his phone. He starts making phone calls. 15 minutes later, he comes back. He's like, bro, we got this. And I'm like, what? He's like, we can do this. And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, it's physically possible. He's like, no. He's like, I talked to my father-in-law and he's got a ranch and he's got a shitload of hogs. He's like, he's 100% in. Like, you guys just let me know when you want to do this and we can do this. And I was like, yes.
That's awesome.
So the whole weekend, the whole time, the guy's like, I fucking can't believe I never thought of this. And I'm like, well, do you have a samurai sword? He's like, no. And I'm like, that's why I didn't think of it.
Yeah. If you had the right tool for the job, sir.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
Nice.
I speaking of hunting, I had reached out to our buddy Clint Romashaw this weekend. Because I wanted to do like ice fishing, like organize some kind of ice fishing event for Hero Sports over this winter. And I know that he does that stuff up in North Dakota. And he's like, I'll link you up with this outfitter that I went through. He's like, it's not regular ice fishing, it's with a spear. And I was like, fucking say less, man. Like, that sounds awesome. Like, let's go fucking spear fishing on ice. Why not?
I think that's a Jack Mandeville dude.
Yeah, Jack went out there with him. That's why.
And Marty.
That's why I reached out to Clint, because I know that he helped hook that up and was up there because he lives up that way. And so I want to, because I've never, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Sounds cold.
Finally going dove hunting this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never done that.
You're going to suck.
Probably.
It's hard.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Jazz, you're a Texan. You ever dove hunted?
I've dove, quail, pheasant, and goose hunted
Yeah.
here in Texas.
I've
And yes, you're going to suck.
probably
I found pheasant hunting to be way easier.
With or without dogs.
without, I think.
Okay, is it a stocked field or no?
No idea.
So,
I
I
know
mean, we have
it is
enough dove here. It doesn't really
I
matter.
know it is a
'cause
place that does
dove is-
dove hunting.
Dove is
so
a fancy pigeon. I mean, like, it's not
that's all it is.
whatever. Just what
It's
I
a-
will tell you is it's fancy hip shooting. Like, when it flies, just shoulder and pull. Like, that whole, like, wait for it. No, don't do that, because it's a tiny bird. And the more you let it fly, the smaller and smaller that bird gets. Just
Oh, I feel like with dove hunting that I've done, and the reason I think I was way bad at it is I'm used to pheasant hunting, and all the birds are flying away from you, and doves were flying at me, and I don't know how to lead shit coming at me. I know how to lead shit going away from me.
Sure you do.
I sucked.
it's like women and children.
I
man.
shot 50
Just don't
fucking
leave her alone.
rounds. I shot 50 rounds and maybe hit 2. I was
Yeah.
terrible.
Your first
Wow.
dove hunt. Your first dove hunt will be
I remember that. I
It'll
was
be-
there for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he did suck at that.
your first dove hunt. If you bring home a bird,
I would have been better
Like-
with a scoped rifle than my shotgun that day, shooting doves out of the air.
I'm not gonna lie. All the goose hunting I've done in this state though has been so Canada goose when they migrate.
Jesus?
Nope, they're goose. It's for some. I don't know why,
Gooey.
but Canada goose. You don't say
Geese.
Canada geese. It's always just Canada goose.
It's gooey.
I don't know what it's gooey. But the couple times that I've done that has been the whole like You ever seen a lay blind?
Mm-hmm.
You like dig a shallow little hole and you lay in it. It's like a white cover.
Yeah, that's how you hunt sandhill crane.
Yeah. So what's hilarious is that we did that shit in Texas where it doesn't fucking snow. So we're just a big fucking white pill in the middle of a fucking field.
Yeah.
Now, Canada goose are huge. They're big birds, but they're also goose. So they're dumb as a fucking box of rocks. So I laid in this fucking hole for like 2 fucking hours.
Yeah.
For nothing. And there's a flock of like 30,000 birds in this field. I was doing it outside of Katy, Texas. It's like 30,000 birds, and we're laying there. The sun's coming up, and the guide keeps going like, fly outs any minute, fly outs any minute, fly outs any minute. Well, when you say that for 90 fucking minutes, you just stop paying attention to the goddamn guide. You're just like, so much so that another group that was hunting, one dude just popped up and fired like across the fucking
Just to get them to
birds.
fly.
So they fly out, and I don't know if you've ever been underneath a 30,000 bird fly out, but one, it rains. And two,
It rains.
yeah, you go do the math.
Yeah.
So it rains. But two,
That's what the sheet's for.
yeah, but seriously. But two, you're not aiming. So I was out there with a Remington 1170, which is the Wingmaster. So it's a semi-automatic shotgun.
Yeah.
Well, with Goose, you don't have to fucking choke hunt. So I had like 8 rounds in this fucking shotgun. See, you're moving your hands. You don't. You just click, and then you just wait for the dogs to get them and bring them back, and you've hit your bag limit. And
Definitely not how dove hunting works.
it's not. Yeah, dove hunting though, it's you walking around getting covered in sticker burrs, and then every once in a while, 2 little birds will fly out of a bush, and you go. And you miss, and you're like, "Yeah, look, I saw doves."
We had a ton of doves that day.
Yeah.
They were just high and small, and I don't know if I had the wrong.
They're tiny birds.
I don't know if I had the wrong choke or what. But
It's a small target to
It's
go
a small
after.
pigeon. That's all it is.
And,
It's a pigeon that
so,
doesn't
yeah.
eat trash.
The other thing is that,
that's what it is. That's
but
what a
he's
dove
right,
is.
is that doves come at you, but they come at you and up.
Okay.
Whereas like pheasant and stuff, they tend to like break and they go away, but they stay relatively flat.
Yeah.
Doves climb.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
Well, like when we did the
it's
dove
fun,
hunt,
but it's
when we did
meh.
the Hero Sports dove hunt, I was watching people, and they're basically like turn this way, and they're watching for birds, and then they'll fly up and they'll just be like, go, 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 go. They start shooting, and then they fall, and the dog goes
which
out, or
kind of
whoever
tells
goes
you
out and
like
gets them. Like,
how small a dove is, because it will be that somebody will, they'll be out there on like a Wingmaster or a Benelli or something that's semi-auto.
yeah,
And or even a pump, and they'll put like 3 or 4 rounds through it and take like 1 bird.
yeah.
So I mean, dove hunting's great. It's more.
That's what I'm doing. I'm just bringing an 870.
If you like hunting and you're going out with some guys that you like, yeah, it's an early morning walk with your friends, and every once in a while you get to pull a trigger. If you take home dove, one, you're getting like no meat, so
Poppers.
yeah, that's what happens most of it. But
Yeah.
cleaning out dove is also just a pain in the ass,
Yeah.
because if you get a solid hit, I mean, you've got like 12 or 15 pellets on a bird that weighs 4 ounces. Like it's
Yeah.
yeah. So
Maybe that one
but
stays.
it's a good time. I mean, like, if you want the experience of dove hunting, go to like a trap range, but stand backwards, have them pull, and then turn and see if you can hit it.
That would be sporting clays. Go to a sporting clays range,
yeah.
because I equally sucked at that.
So
See,
do
I'm
that.
good at sporting clays.
Trap or sporting clays?
Sporting, both. I'm good at both, but I'm better at sporting clays.
Then you might be okay for.
Then you
dove.
might be okay. The only difference is that you don't know when it's going,
True.
so it's a lot of reaction.
I mean,
But-
sporting clays is just like golf, but with shotguns.
Yeah, golf for men.
Essentially, it's a
so-
blast.
But yeah, I mean, it's good. I prefer pheasant and quail. It's probably because the target's bigger, but
Yeah.
I suck with a shotgun, and I'll be the first person to fucking say that. Like, I'm fucking awful with a shotgun.
So you need a Ford pickup to dove hunt.
That's the rule.
And you need to,
You can't go if you don't have a Ford. You can't.
It's
They won't even
because
let you
you
on the
fold
range.
your tailgate down and you pull out that gay little step, and that's your seat.
I don't have one of those.
And then you sit on that, and then you just look up and you spot the dove flying, and then as they're flying by, you're like, "Oh, dove!" and you don't even stand up. Wow!
not only
Oh,
that,
I saw so many people just shooting from lawn chairs. Like
Yeah,
they were like,
that's
"Yeah,
it.
it's a lawn chair."
Yeah, that's dove hunting.
I got my Ford pickup got hit more times than any dove I've shot at.
You get Peppered.
Yes.
You Dick
Have you
Cheney'd
seen-
your.
Have you seen that video of the
I
dude
didn't
that
do
was
it.
sitting on his back patio?
Uh-uh.
He's sitting out there and seeing his buddy, and they're fucking drinking beers in fucking folding chairs, right? Like those camp chairs.
Yeah.
They're drinking beers, and his dog's running around, and his dog flushed something. And it's not a hunting dog. It's just like, it not even like a breed. It was just dog, right? And it's running around, and it flushed something.
Those are my favorite dogs.
And this bird comes out, and this dude goes, "Oh shit," and dropped his beer and picked up his shotgun and went and hit it just right where this thing came down, and he caught it.
Yes, I saw that.
And it was like his Ring camera on his fucking patio that caught the whole thing. And I was like,
Barstool ran that. I think.
was like,
yeah, it was fucking awesome.
bro.
Because he literally shot it and he's standing there and he catches it. It's
Yeah.
like,
And even his friend was like, no fucking way. And he was like, God, I hope my fucking doorbell caught that whole thing. Like, and I was like, you know, I
That's
am
the way
both,
to do it.
that is both awesome and the most redneck thing I've seen in my entire life. Like, and I didn't know people installed Ring cameras on the trailers. Like, that was.
you got to keep the mess safe.
This it sounds like the most fun ever.
No, like I said, it's a really good time.
Yeah.
But if you leave with no birds,
Yeah.
don't be like, oh, fucking suck at this. No, that's just dove hunting.
Yeah.
Like,
Unless you're Scott.
it just
who sucked
sounds,
at it.
I sucked at it.
it just sounds classy because it's like, oh, I'm
It's
going to
weird
hunt
for me to
doves.
hear that you sucked at something involving a weapon, period.
Well,
Well, you didn't ask him to kill an elk at 1,000 meters. You asked him to shoot something the size of my glass with a shotgun from 50
but I
meters. Like,
seriously
Yeah.
think I would have hit more if I had my rifle. I really do.
Dude, I had my buddy John, we were up at that yearly hog hunt that I do with all the vets that have gone for like the last 4 or 5 years. You know, I always tell you guys about. We were up hog hunting and a turkey vulture started flying in, and this fucking dude with a 17 HMR, like super irresponsible of him to do this.
Can you shoot turkey
And
vultures?
those are like,
No,
Elite.
$10,000 fine.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, isn't that like
I
crazy
think-
illegal?
Probably, you know.
Allegedly.
This all happened
is-
allegedly.
it was a
all
snow
allegedly.
owl, not a turkey vulture.
It was a big brown dove.
Yeah, but he fucking pops it dead center of the
There's no
chest
beast pheasant.
from like fucking 200 yards away while it was flying.
That's awesome.
And I was like, you couldn't fucking do that again if you wanted to, bitch. I was like, there is no fucking way. That was fucking dumb luck. And I was like, don't ever shoot your rifle. Like, there's a town right there, man. Like, don't fucking do that. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, yeah, it was fucked up. I'd shoot his ass a little bit because it was just irresponsible of him, but hell of a shot. Fucking real respect's real, man.
Yeah.
like fucking hell of a shot. Couldn't believe it. Could not believe that shit. Ugh.
But yeah,
Would you
so
go ahead?
I didn't get a gator, but they asked me to come back next year as a guide.
Nice.
That seems to be an ebb and flow for you, dude.
I was like, shouldn't that, like, if I got the first one right away and it was like super clean and easy in like 3 minutes, shouldn't that be the person you're like, hey man, you want to come back and guide? Like, I didn't get shit.
Yeah.
But I was the only one who hung bait that didn't ask a single question when they were like, these are the areas. And I'm like, I want that area, you know? And I was
Yeah.
just like, looking back, I was like, fuck, I just need to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. Play dumb, bro. You know better than that.
But it's such, I mean, the guys there, like, they're bored. They just brought on the first active duty guys on their board,
Oh,
or that were active duty. Everybody else, they're all civilians, and they're much older. And essentially what it was is it's a small town, East Texas, and they had all these guys that were.
Where is it?
Jasper, just outside Jasper, Texas.
Oh, careful, Jasper.
we made those jokes, which is funny because I went on a hunting trip with the sheriff when all that shit happened, Billy,
Yeah.
up in Abilene,
Yeah.
when the Vietnam vet hunt, and got all kinds of stories from him.
I bet you did. Shit. Jasper doesn't have the most tolerant history.
It was we were just in the state park the whole time, so there was zero issues. But
Because Jasper's just off 10, right?
no, this is north of Houston, way north. Like, it was 5 hours from here.
Yeah, that's right. I guess it's just south of
Yeah.
Longview.
It's out by by Longview and
Tyler.
Nacogdoches.
Hmm.
Which is funny, a bunch of the guys live around Nacogdoches. I'm like, oh, Nacogdoches Cigar Company carries our cigars. You should go check them out.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Always be working.
Pretty much. But yeah, great group of dudes. I met my first Marine Raider.
Oh, you met one?
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. He was one of the vets on the hunt. like legit, good fucking dude.
Yeah.
I asked him if he knew you. He's like, I don't fucking know, peasants.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm telling you, I don't know any of them.
Yeah.
Now,
here's the funny thing is I don't know his name. I was with him the whole fucking weekend. I don't know his name.
Yeah,
but,
I don't know a single fucking Raider, which is so weird because like half my friend group is fucking like Green Berets.
He's one of the plank holders, so he was part of it when they stood it up.
Was he Force Recon then before?
No, like he was a
cook.
It was a cook. So was Steven Seagal.
So he was going the Force Recon route as they were standing it up and just got fucking pushed into the Raider aspect.
Literally what they did.
Yeah,
they were like, you guys over here, you're gonna go do this other thing.
Well, like when he was talking about it, like hindsight, he's like, I'm a plank holder. It's fucking great. But when he was going through the process, he's like, yeah, it's just the fucking Marines doing another one of their bullshit fucking things they're doing. I might as well fucking, seems fun.
So did they get rid of Force Recon at the time?
No. They kept it, but they added on this in MARSOC. But I guess they've tried this shit in the past and it like just fizzles out and doesn't really go anywhere. And so I guess he was under the impression like, oh, here we fucking go, like whatever.
Well, like, so the history of the Marine Raider is weird because you're right. Like, we had Marine Raiders during World War II.
Yeah.
Fucking R.I.P. Grandpa. He was one. And they were like the first like special forces, like closest thing too. Like that was what they did. Sensitive item gathering, things like that. Right.
Yeah.
Pirates.
100%. Yeah. And, fucking, they disbanded them shortly before Korea, I believe. And then they didn't bring them back because they had recon and force recon.
Yeah.
And then,
not to be confused with passive recon.
Correct. And then, like during Krulak's fucking tenure as commandant, when they were like, "Hey, force recon and recon need to be brought in under SOC as special operations." Well, all Marines are special, so no, costing the Marine Corps fucking hundreds of millions of dollars in funding.
You could have said yes and got a big budget.
Yeah, he was fucking
special
stupid.
As in like sped. Or
right?
like,
like his thing was that all Marines are elite, so we don't need special funding. And it was like, you're a fucking idiot.
Had he ever met Marines?
Marine fucking leader. Yeah. Yeah. He's a commandant of the Marine Corps. I hope so. Yeah. But he fucked it up. And it's one of the blunders in history from the 90s, right? Is that when they were standing up SOC, that he was just like, no, we're all set.
See, that is the problem.
Like, fuck is wrong with you?
That is the problem with making tactical decisions during peacetime.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why when it came back around and they were like, we're going to do a new special forces for the Marine Corps in MARSOC, it falls under JSOC now. So it's well funded.
I actually don't have a problem with that move. That we took essentially all the special operations stuff and pushed all of it underneath JSOC. It makes way more sense because of the amount of interbranch there's a lot of interbranch operation that happens in there.
100%.
When do they? And this doesn't impact the battlefield as much.
It's like pulling resource.
But when they went with the med system and what they called purple, to where it was no longer like, well, the Army has a certain way it handles medical records, and the Navy has a way it handles medical records, and and they just turned it into, nope, it's all now handled on every branch. It's handled this way. And for too long, our branches were way too compartmentalized.
I've told you the story about the profile thing. Like crazy. When I got to fucking, when Walter Reed moved to Bethesda and they condemned the old Walter Reed because it was a nightmare. And so they moved it over to what was National Naval Military Hospital or some shit. It was like fucking the one in Bethesda, Maryland. They moved Walter Reed in there and they moved all the Army guys there. And this was like right when I was transitioning out and like going through like my med board and shit. And I remember I walked in and there was an Army medic there and he's like, "Are you on profile?" And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Profile." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Do you have a profile?" I'm like, "On fucking MySpace or some shit? What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, I was like, "Fuck are you talking about, man? Facebook?" And he was like, "No, profile." And I'm like, "I don't know what the fuck you're saying." And luckily a Navy corpsman was walking by and he's like, "I'll translate." He's like, "Light duty chit." I was like, "Oh yeah." And he was like, I was like, "What the fuck, man?" Like, because we don't speak the same languages as a result of this shit, And it was like, fucking super confusing. And then like I would talk to like army doctors and they'd be fucking saying shit. And I'd be like, can I get a translator? Fucking please. I was like, what is happening? Like, fuck. It's like, it would be like if I tried to call Cadence to a fucking army platoon. They'd be like, what the fuck did he say? Yeah. You know? Like,
no, they don't track. The problem, do you know why the Marine Corps is not allowed to call Cadence for an army unit?
I can't wait to hear this.
Because
I've led army units, so.
Every Marine Corps cadence is only designed to inspire such a raging hard-on that you could beat somebody to death with it. And the army could not tolerate that level of distraction.
So you guys sing cadence while you march. Like words.
Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah, you
just do the whole
inaudible noises.
Yeah, ours is just left, right, left. Yeah, ours is just left, right, left,
Like
right?
It eventually just sounds like the
I've never heard
3000.
it. I've never heard left or right ever.
Then you've not listened.
Like I am not
It's there.
I am not a Marine. But that fucking shit that you do, that are like the fucking song that you guys do, the whole what from the Vietnam with the vehicle. I don't know the whole.
That's a running cadence.
Right, I don't know the fucking song, but every time I hear that motherfucker, I'm a small dude, and I'm still just literally looking around, be like, who wants to fight? Or like, you just want to. Like,
So I'm
either fucking or fighting. Every time I hear that goddamn song,
I'm not an English major, but left and right are both one syllable, I believe. How the Marines uses half syllables, I don't know.
yeah, but they're also the ones that have that cadence competition for the fucking Marine Corps or whatever.
Left gets
They get
broken
together,
down.
and I've listened to that thing and gone, this was 3-hour video, and there was no language spoken. Like it was just grunting.
I feel awfully attacked right now.
We're not saying it's bad. It's just not English.
The word left gets broken down into like 8 count.
This is coming from the branch of service that you guys
it's
say
an 8-count word.
You guys say regular words with like that weird chest inflection. The like pull the dick out of your mouth and fucking talk. like you'll
Have
be
you
like,
listened to that cadence competition?
Have you listened to the army? You guys will go platoon. I can't even say platoon the way you guys do. Like,
well, so you only drop the last syllable.
Yeah.
So you just don't say the last part of the syllable. So it's platoon, and you drop the last. So it's just not the N. We just don't say that.
yeah, we just say platoon.
Yeah, but then the rest of it, it's left, right on, like, and it's like, I don't know. Was that a command action? Like, I don't understand.
Do me a favor. Now you're gonna need to move your mic away because it's gonna be loud.
Yeah.
But just give me attention. Like if you were calling a platoon to attention, how would you do it?
Platoon, attention, huh?
All right. Now, how I would do it. Very, very similar. Platoon. Attention. Huh. The same shit.
So you dropped off of
I'm just saying left and right. You have never heard a Marine say
left, right, yeah, right, left.
You
right,
started with an R.
You started with an R. That was an RH.
You
that was
spent way
RH.
too much time in Japan, bro.
That was RHEFT.
That was
No,
like
it was- It was not. I was like, left.
Craft, light on craft, right on left. Wait, it's like,
No, don't get me wrong. I have heard ignorant backwards motherfuckers who try to put twang in their fucking cadence, and it's weird because they'll be like, and I'm like, what the fuck?
That's what I'm talking about.
yeah, but then the army gets gospel singers that want to
Yeah.
sing cadence, and that shit is brutal.
Now, don't get me wrong. I've had like buddies of mine that were like black drill instructors, which are
Yeah, but they'll break your heart. That's
Dude.
the problem with those motherfuckers.
like you're
so
running,
true.
you're motivated and crying tears of fucking joy at the same time. It's like, how
with
did you
the
do
heart
this?
on.
Yeah, it's
you
fucking
get a black guy
amazing.
that's singing
Wanting to
cadence,
kill
and you're
Jody.
like, I have never missed home more than I do
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Or like they'll get like, I got stuck in this transfer platoon once.
black cadence
And it was
callers
like-
can make an orphan whip.
It was like I was,
that shit's
I was like the
ridiculous.
white guy. Like everybody else was black, and it was like, but then we would go out on PT runs, and these it was the most motivating fucking runs because they would sing like, have you ever heard the "Don't Let the Green Grass Fool You" cadence? It's very intricate,
Okay.
but these fuckers would nail it. and like they sing like backup chorus to the guy singing basically. And I was just like, I'm not saying shit because I don't want to fuck this up, but this is awesome to be a part of.
There is nothing better.
You're only
than
doing the recall.
Fuck
Like
yeah.
that's it.
I
Like,
couldn't even do that because all of it was like there was different fucking lyrics.
yeah, they have the response that's a
They
different
knew,
piece of lyrics.
and I was like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna fuck this up. This is beautiful. Like this should be on a fucking CD, man.
There's nothing
Right
better
away.
than a good cadence.
Those
Yeah.
exist. The
They do.
Cadence CDs, those are like a thing.
I have a buddy of mine who made one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made like a newer version
them.
of some of them.
Staff Sergeant White, I will never forget that motherfucker. Staff Sergeant White would come out there, and I felt like I was in a tent revival every time that motherfucker sang Cadence. And I was like, I don't know whether I miss my mom or I've disappointed Jesus. Like one of the two here is happening though.
But I was observing the army one time, and they were singing songs while marching.
Yeah.
Which we don't do, and
We-
that I thought was weird.
We have marching cadence and running cadence.
We only have like as far as words go and song like sing song like that. It's only running.
Some of the best army cadences
Or
are
marching,
marching.
yeah.
Or marching
Yeah,
cadences.
and don't get me wrong. Like, you know, my older brother's a veteran, right? And he is an army vet, and he fucking used to tell me all this shit growing up, and I was like all stoked. And then remember I got to boot camp, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't do that."
One of the
What,
most
what would happen
annoying.
if you did?
I don't know.
They'd forget how to march.
They would, yeah. It would. Are you kidding? They would fuck that up.
That'd be all
Fucking
out of
terrible.
step.
The Marines are, I think, the last of the marchers.
Like four
on the
guys who
planet.
start running.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
other service that knows how anymore.
Wait, so rhythm isn't like standard issue in the Marine Corps?
Definitely not.
Oh,
Definitely not.
Oh, there would definitely be
Dude, the majority of the Marines are Mexican, bro.
So you should
It's
have
true.
rhythm. It's just all in the hips.
Yeah,
Like that's
like,
the,
you got to have some spice in there, bro.
This guy never got called to sing cadence.
Like, don't get me wrong. I got called out to sing running cadence all the time. I could sing song fucking cadence running like the best, right?
I was worried about breathing.
the most annoying thing that I found with army running cadences.
That was when I was in shape. You could tell when I was starting to get out of shape because I would call cadence for a lot less time.
It's left, right on, left, fucking that way. Fucking.
One of my drill sergeants would smoke 2 packs a day and would call cadence for like a 10-mile run the entire
Yeah,
fucking
fuck
time.
that.
Dude, my buddy,
Loud as fuck.
I stand by the fact that if you smoke a cigarette before a run, it
stretches your airways.
But this dude,
100%
You stretch
helps.
before a run, your muscles the same way you should stretch your lungs. I used to use this all the time, and I agree, sir.
I could not agree.
This
with
guy
Fuck yeah.
was a fucking E6 with 20 years time and rank.
What'd he do?
I have no fucking
He did
idea.
something.
But this dude was like 100.
He did something or someone.
He was
He
100.
did
He
something.
was a
Probably both.
miserable
He
bastard.
did something to someone.
But he could fucking sing cadence. Drill Sergeant Parmigiani. And he could sing cadence like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Biggest problem I have with running cadences, man, is I don't. Every fucking you guys didn't have this problem,
I
but
haven't heard one in a long time.
every running cadence I ever fucking heard had to deal with the airborne, and I was like,
Because they run.
the fuck. Now, you know what? I'll give you that because as soon as I got like into unit, we didn't fucking group run anymore. We were just
Oh,
like,
we
yeah,
totally
no,
did.
fuck
yeah,
this.
fuck, we had
We
to.
were at 101st Airborne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We ran just because
Well,
there
that's
was
what
a
I'm
name.
saying.
It's not
That's what
because we
I'm
actually
saying,
jumped.
Is that you guys didn't? Well, I wore an airborne tab the entire time I was in. I never jumped, but every fucking through all of my training, every time we ran and there was cadence, it was always about C-130 rolling down the strip.
It was either
airborne daddy gonna take a little trip, and I was like, no, we're not. We're not fucking going anywhere. Psyop
So-
rides in a truck.
Do you know-
Like we don't.
Did you know that the Marines ripped that one off from you guys?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, you get all of our hand-me-downs,
Yeah,
buddy.
we've ripped that cadence off though, but it's
That's
it's
not JMO.
like recon guys use it. All right, so it's like
a little ice while you're at it. Appreciate you.
it's like C-130 rolling down the strip, and then I always went pop the tire, watch the motherfucker flip, but that was me. All right? That was just me. But
You know, that's
yeah,
I'd actually totally believe that.
yeah.
Not that I've ever seen one pop a tire, but
I don't know. Those things are fucking tanks. It's basically a tank that flies,
that's
man.
because
They're fucking.
we made the original 80 of them. We haven't made any more. It's just those.
Yeah, you didn't need to. You're like, this works.
Fucking,
Yeah, this
I
works.
think it was in the 50s.
have you seen a new one?
I don't know. They just upgrade them.
I think they just repaint them.
It's like, hey, can we- can we
that's the
put-
upgrade.
Can we
put
put
a
a
new
bigger
computer
gun on this?
Yeah.
Let's just put a bigger gun on it.
Just like everything in the military, they give it a new coat of paint and just douse it in Pine Sol, and then
Yeah.
it's
Like,
go.
oh, it's new.
Yeah,
If it smells clean, it is clean.
C-130W.
It gets a new name also. Yeah, that's the other part.
What was the upgrade? We replaced that netting on the inside.
Let's call it a Spectre because it sounds cool.
Yeah.
Now those are
You see that bolt? Yeah,
those I don't mind, like the Spectre and all that kind of stuff. Where they're like, "Hey, we have this new gun. What should we do with it?" And they're like, "Build a plane around it." Like,
Yeah, right.
just
That's literally what they did for the A10. They're like, we have this thing that's going to murder tanks. This gun, how do we put it in there? Let's just put a fucking plane around it.
I don't think it's so much as how do we put it in? How do we take this gun and kill tanks with it without the tanks killing us?
Yeah.
And some dude in the back was like, "Put it in an airplane." And they're like, "That's a great idea."
No, it was like a corporal or a fucking specialist was like,
Make
put
it
it in an
fly.
airplane, and his lieutenant was like, "Did you hear what I said? I said that. I said that." That's how it happened.
I want that on my OER.
Yep, that's how it happened.
So I just got a text message from Michelle. My youngest is in Navy ROTC and got his first haircut. He sends me a picture and look at the comment. She says,
Good job,
look
Michelle.
at this boot.
Dude, he needs to save some pussy for everybody else. That's fucking funny. I like that he's still got a sucker.
Right?
Like he's got a sucker in the picture. Like the barber was still like, "Here, buddy."
But the best part is he's not like, "No, bro." He's like, "Thank you."
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Oh, it's like,
I'd say he looks so much older, except he still needs a lollipop.
see. Call that or what?
Oh, fuck.
Fucking funny. She
So-
called him a boot.
A couple of the other funny stories that I told some of the guys that were over there, because we were just talking about, what do you do, where you from, blah blah blah, the usual shit, just trying to get the kind of understand the people that are around you.
Yeah.
And so obviously I'm smoking a cigar the entire time. So I'm like, cigar company, blah blah blah. We do a podcast. It's pretty funny. It's called The Freedom Friends. They're very like-minded people that were out there. And I'm like, "Oh, what's a podcast like?" I'm like, "Well, we're kind of rough around the edges, and we tell a lot of jokes and make fun of stuff, but other than that, it's great." Like, I told them, like, we actually do good things sometimes, like when
Once in a while.
yeah. But for the most part, it's just dick jokes, and they're like, "Oh, like what?" And I was like, "Okay."
What kind of cake?
I didn't start with that. I started with, "Would you suck a dick for $1 million?" And they're like, "Oh." And then the question started, "Well, is it tax free?" And I'm like, "This is great." I'm like, "You're my target audience right now." I was like, "So I need you all to answer that, and then we can move on to the next ones." And they're like, "Oh, okay, this is fun." So they did that. I'm like, "Awesome." And I'm like, "Cool." So we got our yays, we have our nays, we got our don't really know yet. I'm like, "So 10 dicks in a row, $1 million a dick. Where do you stop?" And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "It only gets worse from here, boys." So we go through that whole fiasco.
Did anybody stop at 5?
No, nobody did. And I explained, I was like, one of the guys in the show, he stopped at 5. He said, "Once you got $5 million, he doesn't need to suck a dick anymore." He goes, and their unanimous response, "Once you suck one, it doesn't matter after that."
I guess.
Doesn't matter. Like, and then they did the bridge builder joke. You can build 1,000 bridges, but you suck one dick and you're a cocksucker.
Yeah.
And then, so then I busted out the cake. And that one stuck the entire weekend because it was great. Because
what kind of cake?
The volunteer fire department was the one who cooked for everybody, and they cooked some unbelievable food. The first night we were there, we had 25 people for dinner. They cooked 50 ribeyes.
Gotta love those bored firefighters.
Right?
Yeah.
The fish fry, it was phenomenal.
HEB fucking donates fucking meat to fire stations. So they get all this free fucking meat all the time, man. They have so much.
Saturday night, they're getting dinner ready. Everybody eats. We're all hanging out. And they're like, some very nice lady who's with the fire department comes out and goes, "I hope you guys are hungry. We have cake." And one of the dudes just goes, "What kind of cake?" Yes. and like 8 people are crying, laughing, and everybody else is like, "What the fuck's wrong with these guys?" So one of the dudes on the board is like, "Dude, I didn't think cake was that funny." And I'm like, "Well, you want to know why?" So the 2 board members they had that were prior military were both group guys. Both SF dudes did 20, 25 years, retired, and so one of the dudes that asked that was one of the group guys, and I was like, "I'll tell you once we leave the chow hall." I was like, "It's not really." I mean, there's kids and wives and all that
not
stuff.
appropriate
I'm like,
right now, bro.
No. So we get done. I tell him, and he's like, "Jesus Christ!" Yeah.
So what would he pick? What kind of cake?
Right.
Did you tell him the ice cream cake theory?
No, we did. So nobody picked ice cream cakes. I didn't go down that rabbit hole.
Rich has gotten the best answer, in my opinion. Like, Angry Cops got the best answer for this, and it was ice cream cakes so that I could get a brain freeze to take my mind off the butt pounding.
But there's a lot of guys that were going to sit on a cake, and I'm like, dude, that cake tastes way better than that dick does. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Gary Brugman's here.
Oh, we got questions.
We have a question for you.
When you got pounded in the ass in prison, was it gay?
No, because I was resisting.
So, see, he raped a dude with his butthole. I told you it happens.
No. So the question is, Scott, hit him with the question. It's your question.
What was the question?
If there's a
Yeah, get on Justin's mic
Gary,
because we're genuinely curious.
Butthole first.
say hypothetically, somebody gets thrown in jail for killing pedophiles. They go to jail and they rape a pedophile as like revenge. It's a
They
hate
rape a pedophile?
Yeah. Is that gay?
Because it's a hate raping.
It's always gay, but
Now, and I mentioned that in prison society, that having sex in prison isn't considered gay to them.
I like how four dudes that have never
'Cause
been
it's
to
like- it's-
prison
'cause it's
are
like any foreign
chiming
store.
in on how prison society
it
works.
depends. There's two kinds. There's gay and not gay, as they put it, because one's a pitcher, one's a catcher. To me, you're still a baseball player. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree.
I'll give you an example. There was one of the meanest dudes I met in prison. His name was Rosa, and he ran everything inside. And the day before he got out, he was with a punk. And I was like, dude, I didn't know you rode that way. He goes, I'm not. I'm the pitcher, not the catcher. And I told him that. And I guess when you're locked away for a long, long time.
And then he woke up
20
4 days
years,
later.
20 plus 30 years, not touching a woman. Different mindset.
Sure.
Not to me, but you know.
You did 18 months, not 30 years, though.
I did 24 months.
All right. So I was
Yeah,
giving
no, yeah, no,
I was giving you credit for less butt sex, but all right.
He's only a minor league baseball player.
Right.
So it's not
But however, pedophiles have a rough way to go inside. They call them chesters. I've seen several get their ass beat, and when they rolled in, the guards will straight up tell them, "Hey, he's a chester," and they'll get on him real quick. And
So what happens if? How does one be treated in prison if they're a pedophile killer?
I've never come across that.
Just be like, this guy murders pedos.
Usually they're acquitted.
You'd have a high status.
You would.
You end up being
That's
a
like
shot
the
caller.
dude that
Yeah.
murdered
You'd
all
end
those
up being a shot
pedophiles
caller.
with
Really?
those
Yeah.
guy that murdered all those pedophiles with a hammer.
Yeah.
Like he did time.
Yeah, but I
But I guarantee you that motherfucker's a king.
I bet you people were
That's-
bringing him chow
They
and
threw
shit.
him a party.
That's what I was hoping. I'm hoping they would be treated
Yeah.
with due respect.
Yeah, but I think if you start banging dudes, they're still gonna look at you
feds,
weird.
it's bad. You know, the only difference between the feds and the state prison is the prisons are prettier in the feds.
Yeah.
But prisons. It's got the same class of inmate.
Sure.
So,
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
roger that.
We were
If you have
talking-
any more
it's-
prison questions, you let me know.
It's literally how we opened the show, and I was like, "Fuck!" I was like, "Gary will be here later, I'm sure." I was like, "I'm gonna ask him his question."
I don't think it's gay unless he turns around and starts giving you instructions, and then it's gay as fuck. Like if he turns into a power bottom and you don't know,
Oh, that's bad. That
Yeah.
just means you're not doing the hate fucking.
Well, dude, if he turns around and or if he pushes back, that's gay. Dude. That's gay. Like it's really gay if you push back.
So that's what I was when we were talking about this earlier. I said if you take zero sexual satisfaction in it, I don't think it's gay. If it's just pure out of hate,
but that's shooting pool with a rope.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to have some satisfaction if you got a boner in the first place.
Have you never had a boner when you killing somebody before?
Yeah. That's true. That's a thing.
It's a thing.
That is a thing.
If
People
any of
don't
y'all
talk
were-
about
if
that.
any of y'all
Get your
were
blood
curious,
Dude, people don't talk about that, but
If-
that's a real thing, man.
if any of y'all were curious why the last episode didn't work on Apple,
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
I'm still waiting to hear back. For those of you,
I
that
have a theory.
that have come
I
from
100% have a theory as to
Apple to
why the
Spotify.
fuck.
We are working on it. I'm trying to find something out. Apple refuses to get back to me about anything.
I have a theory on
Apple pulled it.
They didn't pull it.
It doesn't
so
play.
It shows up, but as soon as you hit play,
It says it's unavailable.
It says it's unavailable.
And I have a theory.
Okay. I didn't
So
know. I thought
on
it
the
was-
last one, we made a joke about killing pedophiles. And somebody said, well, no, it's minor attracted persons. And I was like, nope, still a fucking pedophile.
Yep, that's pedo.
And they're all 100% down for killing fucking pedophiles. We had this whole conversation about killing pedophiles on the last fucking show.
So we'll see, because
And
we're
I
having it
think
again.
We're
So
having it again.
If it doesn't work this next
And
time,
you know what?
now we know why.
Fuck you, Apple. You can pull me again. I don't give a fuck what you want to call it. If you fuck kids, you deserve to die.
100%.
It's just the fucking way it is.
Yeah.
So now we'll know if they pull our episode from Apple again, it's because apparently Apple is cool with the fact that you shouldn't kill pedophiles. Apple, prove me wrong.
It's
prove me wrong,
It's a
Apple.
weird line.
Yeah, Apple,
That's a weird hill to die on, Apple.
prove me wrong, Apple.
But oh, by
Prove
the
me
way,
wrong.
Apple, I really like your new watch that you came out with.
Dude, I was going to call you about that
Oh,
watch.
we already ordered them.
They got a watch.
Apple launched a new
the Apple, the
iWatch,
Watch Ultra.
but it
Damn it,
has
I just bought the fucking 7, man.
Oh, no, I'm super happy that
there's,
I had mine
there's an app you can get that turns it into a dive computer
It's
down
not even
to
an app.
130 feet.
It's built in.
No, it's not.
Oh, is it a secondary?
It's built in as a
But it's an Apple app.
stopwatch.
But it's an Apple app
It's
that
an
you can
app
turn
that costs
it
like
into.
$80 a year.
Oh.
And
But-
it's funny. The best part about all of it is I'm in a bunch of dive groups and everybody's like shit talking because everybody in those groups shit talks everything anyways. But they're shit talking the company that released the app. Right. And they're like, oh, I can't believe that Sunto or Shearwater, all these other like major high end, like $1,000 dive computers. I can't believe they didn't fucking do this for the Apple Watch. Why would you compete with yourself? You sell a self-contained dive computer. Why would you build an app for your competition?
So the
I
only
will
reason.
tell you why.
Okay, I want to know your theory because I have a theory about why you would build the app and why you wouldn't. Go ahead.
They should sell the app. They should make and sell an app to Apple Watch wearers because they can make it not quite as good, and that way the serious dive guys are still going to buy their shit. But now people like me and you,
Even
right?
Apple says that you should wear it as a backup to your dive computer.
yes, but
No.
but I may never buy a dive computer.
See, I'm right there with you.
And I am probably one of like how many more people wear Apple Watches than
Then,
buy dive computers?
or even like.
But you don't
Fucking-
dive.
Yep, but I will.
So here's the
someday.
deal.
You can rent one for $10.
Sunto makes a dive computer, right?
Yeah, I
I
have
mean,
one.
I
It's
think
great.
I think all fucking 5 of us, including Justin, have Apple Watches on right now, right?
So,
Yeah.
Sunto
Yeah.
makes a dive computer. Sunto also makes a watch that I love. That's called the Sunto All Black.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenal watch. I absolutely love that watch, and I have several watches. I used to be a big watch guy until the Apple Watch came along, and then
yeah, until I got into Fitbits and smartwatches, I
Oh,
was
it
the
wasn't
same
even
way.
that.
I was big.
I
into
was
that.
never even a big Fitbit buyer, but when the Apple Watch came along and how convenient it was to
Right.
wear the Apple Watch over anything else. And I have a bunch of watches and they all sit in a case at home, and every once in a while I take them out and I fucking spin them and wind them up and da-da-da-da-da
it
just to
back.
keep and then I put them back in their fucking box and they get back in the drawer. I love the Sunto All Black. I think it's a phenomenal watch. I'll never buy one because I wear an Apple Watch. Apple has now released a watch that would compete with the All Black. It does everything the All Black does. It's got longer battery life, and it does more than the All Black does.
Yeah.
Sunto taking the software from their dive computer and just putting it in the watch, what it does is exactly what you said. That watch is going to be, I think it's $800,
Yeah.
$799 or whatever the fuck. So $800 watch, right? But now I just have this $800 watch that does exactly what that dive computer does
and everything else.
and everything
Yeah.
else. So for the people that aren't going to buy your $1,000 dive computer, you've still got them for the fucking app. You're
Yeah.
still getting money out of that customer base.
I don't-
That's why you make the fucking thing.
I don't
Like,
think they lost a customer.
no, I think what you've done is you've gained a whole new client base.
Yeah.
The people that want the $1,000 Sunto dive computer are still going to go buy it.
Yeah,
What?
But otherwise, if you're a casual diver, and I'm sure there's a thing, right? The people that
Yeah.
don't own their own gear, but they're scuba certified and they just go rent their shit and whatever. They can't justify owning that gear, but they can go, well, I dive twice a year. When I go on vacation or I go to a lake or I go do whatever, I'll pay the $80 a year and I'll get your app and it's on my watch that I've
Yeah.
already fucking paid for. And now it does what I want. You're just opening up that revenue stream. That's why that fucking company should make that app and put it on the phone. Now, the product's not out yet. There is nothing saying that Sunto isn't going to release their version that you
Eventually,
can't get for their watch. And it's a brilliant fucking move.
what I think everybody else is waiting for is to see if it actually works or not.
Yeah.
I agree. And
Because it's rated down to 130 feet, which
yeah, it's 40 meters or whatever is what they're claiming.
yeah, which isn't that's not a lot when it comes to dive stuff.
Right.
Like that's the limits for recreational diving.
This is the first generation too.
But
So.
I don't.
Yeah.
But I don't think Apple is literally targeting hardcore divers. They are targeting the casual guys, the guys that are like, I have enough money that I vacation a couple times a year, and
Right.
when I do, I go scuba because I'm in the Bahamas and
I
it's
don't
cool to
go-
go look at the pretty fish.
Well, I think what it's going to do is it's that technological leap that needed to happen. It is it's Apple being like, we can make something that's actually waterproof, and it's not this fucking big on your wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has the processing power to be able to compute the algorithms that a dive computer does.
Can you text from underwater?
So, and that's the other things I saw in the groups was like, one of the dudes was like, if I fucking get emails and text messages on my dive, I'm fucking dropping this thing in the ocean.
I guarantee you, if you kick on that thing, it's gonna stop everything else.
So I
So
found out,
I would say like fucking like airplane mode it only.
No, no,
I
no,
found
no,
out
no,
no,
shit
I'm
works
telling you, when
underwater.
you
I
turn
found
the
out in my
app on,
pool-
it is going to stop notification on everything else, and it's going to go to a live screen. So, like, do you have the flick thing on your watch when you're not looking at it? Like it goes black or whatever, and then when you flick it, it turns on.
Yeah.
It's going to be that same thing.
So like mine.
So when you have it in dive computer mode,
the 7 can stay on. That's the
so
one
can
that,
mine.
that can stays on all the time.
You can turn that off.
No, I know.
And you get more battery
I
life.
did turn it off.
But I
just had the
guarantee
flick
you,
thing.
if you're running that dive computer, it's going to just shut off all other notifications. Because what you don't need to know is what the fuck your fantasy football team is doing while you're 100 feet underwater.
well, I don't think it's going to work.
None of it works.
So like just Bluetooth alone, like I found out in my pool at my house that if I drop my phone in the water and I'm playing music, it no longer plays music out of the speaker.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And then I can go whoop.
Yeah, because it's silent.
Whoop, and I go music, no music.
Well, you
Music,
lose
no
Bluetooth
music.
connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it shuts off all the ports and everything when it recognizes water.
So just
that's like your
like,
watch has a swim mode where you hit the little that little water drop, and it closes all of the the mic and everything. It closes all those ports so you don't get water inside your
I
watch.
don't know if that's true.
So it's the same
That's the
thing
way it's supposed to work.
with like GPS. GPS doesn't work underwater the way that it works above water, because you lack satellite connection, because you have however many feet of water between you and the surface, in between you and the satellite for clear,
But I
path for
noticed
everything to
when
travel.
I'm in my pool, like you can see when you're connected. If I'm even an inch underwater, it disconnects from my phone.
because it's Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
I mean, either way,
new phones are cellular.
I pre-ordered the watch because
Yeah.
it's
But it's like,
fucking
so with the
phenomenal.
new watches, there's a way that you can send emergency distress through satellite.
The phone too. The new
Yeah.
phone's gonna have it.
But-
The new phone is a sat phone.
Yep.
That's
But
insanity.
it can only send a text message, and it has a way. It pretty much directs you to point your phone at a satellite as it's moving, and then it takes forever for it to transfer the data, because that's not how satellites are really designed
Sure.
yet.
Yeah. Elon. Look it up.
I
Well,
don't know.
his are.
These
But
pushes.
Apple probably can't use it.
These two new products, the new phone and the new watch, are a legitimate jump forward.
Yeah.
And this is why I only buy Apple products every other generation. I never buy. So, like, I have the 12 Pro.
Yeah, same.
I did not get the 13 Pro.
It's
And
the
I
same
have
phone.
the, what the fuck do they call that program? Apple every year, or
Yeah,
all Apple, or
Apple
whatever
for
the
life or whatever.
whatever the fuck it's called, where every year I can just go get the new one.
Yeah.
The thing is that the difference between my 12 Pro and the 13 Pro was fuck all.
You get
It's the
you
exact same goddamn phone.
You get cinema mode in the video.
Yeah, until they did the iOS update on my phone, and it did the same fucking thing.
Right.
But the new 14 Pro, that phone, it uses all 3 lenses to be able to shoot a 48 megapixel raw image. That is insanity. It's got the same stabilization in it that's in the GoPro.
Right.
Like, that's nuts. And then you look at what's in the phone, and it's got that SAT thing. They've gotten rid of SIM cards. It all goes to eSIM now, so you can have multiple phone numbers in the
Mine
same
did
phone.
that. I have the 13 Pro Max.
It
and
works
mine's
great.
the same thing.
Unless you're like Black Ops or a drug dealer.
Yeah, now it's all tracking. But that new watch, the capabilities of it are phenomenal. It sold me when it was literally like multi-day battery life. And I was like, you fucking got me.
I was
Like,
sold on it for like the GPS, the elevation shit. Like, and for me, it's like hunting. Like if I'm out in the fucking mountains in Colorado,
knowing exactly where you are because it's sat linked.
Yep, and I can plot all my fucking points on my watch. I don't have to bring a separate GPS. It tells me my elevation. It tells me all that shit. And they're like, oh, but wait, it's also a dive computer. And I'm like, God, I walked into Scott's office and I'm like, fuck, I'm buying this thing.
They got me when they said that you can tell it that you're hiking out, and it will drop waypoints for you on your way out. And then if you're out there and you're like, fuck, I don't know how to get back, you can literally tell your watch to backtrack you.
And it already has it.
It will walk you back on the waypoints that it dropped on the way out. And I was like, okay, you got me.
Yeah.
Between that and the multi-day battery life.
I hope I can use that when I'm drunk.
Where did I park?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's a legit leap forward. And I mean, I haven't replaced my watch in like 3 years, so I don't feel bad about
This
it.
is my first Apple Watch.
Mine too.
And my thing is that for $800, if I get 3 years out of it again, I start breaking that down into like what it cost me a year and then what it cost me a month and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, so 52 cents a day to wear that new fucking watch. Sold.
Haley's worried because she has an Apple Watch 3.
It's old as shit.
It's old as fuck.
Get the new one.
Give her yours, buy the new one.
Yeah, right. But she's worried because she's like, it's a matter of time before the software updates no longer work with this bitch. Yeah. And I was like, yeah.
It doesn't have the power to be able to run.
And that's the big thing. But yeah, both of them are. I'm not gonna lie. The iPhone 14, just the standard new phone. That's this. It's the 12 Pro Max. They just shrunk it.
Yeah.
It's in the standard for it. It's trickle down tech. We see it with Vortex.
Yeah.
Vortex will release like their new Razor, the top of the line one, and then they trickle their tech down, and you see it in the lower end stuff. That's exactly how it's doing. But the new 14 Pro Max or the new 14 Pro and the new Apple Watch Ultra are legitimate steps forward.
Yeah.
Like they're so good. Now, I don't really give a fuck that my watch can tell me when I'm ovulating.
Right. Jazz, you need that. For all the babies you're going to have out of your vagina.
Well, we can tell by you needing that fan that you're obviously ovulating.
Dude, I'm telling you, I think I'm fucking having problems.
At the end of it.
It is at the end of the ovulation cycle.
Yeah, I'm fucking going through the change. It's the change. Speaking of the change, boys, what are we drinking?
We owe a thank you to this fucking chud that's sitting out in the fucking chairs.
I want to give a shout out.
Yeah, Reed, flick your wrist. Yeah, that guy right there.
That guy right there.
Not that you can see him, but
no, they can see him on the camera.
I forgot we have a Justin cam now.
Cam. He's right there.
Reed brought us a gift, and it is the ZZ Top Trace Hombres edition of Balcones. Now, we're all fans of Balcones bourbon.
Absolutely.
And ZZ Top.
And ZZ Top.
Yeah.
So he brought us, and you were telling us that this one was made before the passing of the original drummer. So when it was the original trilogy for ZZ Top, they designed this, and there's a second edition that was done after. But this is the original, and this is out of his personal stash. And I asked him, I was like, have you watched how we drink before you brought this bottle?
And that's why we were like, we're all taking just one drink out of it.
So, and he was like,
savoring it, buddy.
And he was like,
delicious.
I'm a fan, man. It's worth it. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. So we've all had a drink out of it.
It's fucking good.
It is very good. So fan of the show, Reed, we fucking appreciate you, man. And it's a fantastic bourbon. We couldn't, but we get spoiled on the show, man. The stuff that gets brought to us is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we do.
So huge thanks. But I think all of us are drinking that.
Well, they were.
We were. Guys... I think a couple of us have transitioned over to other bottles at this point.
I'm back onto not fancy stuff. I'm back on Jameson.
Do you bite your tongue? Jameson's fancy as fuck.
It's elegant.
it's people who drink Jameson are classy, sir.
They do. They speak in cursive.
You're goddamn right. I love that.
It's been known to happen.
Dude, I don't know. I can't tell you how many times I've been tagged in the fucking meme where it's like, hey, Jameson, this is great. Let's fight that cop.
Yeah. As soon as I get done drinking this, I'm punching somebody in the face.
Like,
I've never felt that way.
Me neither.
No. Like, well, that's probably not true. By the way, I appreciate everybody loving that I love anger. I appreciate that. Matt Hilligoss had me rolling with some of his memes this week in the group.
There's been some fucking good ones.
Dude, our group has been fucking fire with memes, man. And, you know, we hit 1,000 members in the Freedom Friends group about a month ago. I think we finally hit 1,000.
You know how I know it's good?
Oh.
It's because I keep getting things.
Your post has been removed.
Yes, a post in your group has been removed.
Yeah.
And every time I get that, I'm like, I love you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm always pissed off when I see that like
Lord's work.
something's been removed because it broke. I was like, Oh, did I see it? Because then they won't show me what got
The shitty
removed.
part
and I'm
is the first person that clicks on it is the only one that can see it.
Yeah.
Once it's viewed one time of whatever it's been removed by an admin,
all right,
nobody else can see it.
So I'm gonna make a call because all of us are admins on that page.
Put it on the group text.
There you go.
You got to worry about Lavely because Lavely's an admin as well.
Lavely, I hope you fucking if you don't listen to this, you're not an admin anymore.
Yeah, right.
But
matter of fact, Lavely, I want you to answer this question. What is 3 times 5? That's it.
Give him an easy one.
It's true. It's Lavely we're talking about. I want you to just.
Do you know what's terrifying? He's actually one of the smartest motherfuckers I've ever talked to.
He really is.
I know, right? Probably too smart for his own good.
Like he's terrifyingly intelligent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I've sat for hours and drank with that man and hammered.
Yeah.
Like I'm still just like
he's got his GT.
Like
That's for sure.
He's
Guys,
smart.
I need a serious moment for a second.
Oh shit.
So I got kicked in the nuts on Sunday. I found out one of my acquaintances, really good dude, Neil Curry from Ready Gunner, passed away.
I'm sorry to hear that, buddy.
Yeah.
And Neil was like, he's like one of those guys that like
He was the dude that you wanted to be.
He's the dude you wanted to be. Like
yeah.
You know, you hear the sayings, the good die young and assholes live forever.
Yeah.
And it couldn't be more true with Neil. Like Neil was a great dude. He had, ran Ready Gunner. And I knew Neil before he started Ready Gunner. Ready Gunner was a thought in his head and he turned it into what it is today. And he's got, I think 6 kids.
6 kids. Amazing wife. A bunch of different businesses.
Just a fucking awesome dude. And to hear he passed away, I think he's just a year older than me. Maybe
he's 42,
43. Yeah. That one hurt. It hurt me a lot. So, cheers to Neil. Everybody's going to miss you, buddy.
Yeah. Cheers, Neil. R.I.P., buddy. While we're being somber, I got one too. Jim Pee Wee Martin.
Yeah.
From at 101 years old.
I was say I don't know how somber we need to fucking be.
We don't have to be too somber about
He was the jump master for my last jump.
Yeah. He was a fucking great guy.
Signed in my logbook.
Oh, that's awesome.
One of America's greatest generation, jumped into fucking Normandy. Just a cool guy to talk to. He was just a cool old guy, man. Like a really good dude. But had a hell of a fucking run.
I didn't meet him, but Caitlin did.
Caitlin did meet him.
Caitlin got to hang out with him. Had wonderful things to say. So
he was just a good dude, man. To Roger, his son, and his family, my condolences, and
yeah, but at 101,
hell of a fucking run.
What the fuck?
We should all be so lucky.
His wife passed away when he was 97, and he wrote a letter shortly after you shared it.
Yep.
Shortly after she passed away, to be put out when he passed away.
Yep.
And the long of the short, I mean, it's on Mikey's Facebook, so and it's on his also, Jim Pee Wee Martin.
Yeah. I'll make it public so people can see.
The long of the short of it was, he's unbelievably proud of the younger generation of warfighters showing interest in the veterans from World War II, wanting to hear the stories and learn the things and carry on the traditions and the memories of the greatest generation.
And all that generation, Korea, Vietnam, they're like, those guys don't like to tell their story. There is a generation of warfighter that wants to hear your stories.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Tell your stories.
One of my friends apparently made a stop in here.
Oh, he did. I must not have been here.
I got a phone call from Justin saying that my friend Steve, who was a Vietnam vet.
Wish I would have been here.
He's the one I've been telling you guys about. It was Tiger Team during Vietnam. He's the same way. He'll tell you he served, and he's a lot like us, right? He'll tell all the stories around.
Was he Tiger Force?
No, that was Fox Force.
No, that was Fox Force. Yeah, no, he was Tiger Team, the original 2-man teams but they answered only to like 3-letter. They didn't answer to.
But no, I hope those guys know we want to hear their stories.
But Steve is a lot like us. He'll tell all the stories around it, right? Like our rule on the show, we don't tell war stories here, but we tell all the shit that happens
We would make an
around
exception for guys.
Yeah,
that
I would
wanna-
love to listen to
I
that.
asked
I won't
him.
be sitting cross-legged right there. On the
I
floor.
asked him if he would be on
Like-
the show, and he agreed with the caveat that we stick to that rule. He will tell you all the goofy shit that happened
That's perfect. too.
around his service. He will not discuss what he did or anything.
Yeah.
And it's not because of anything other than, and I'm paraphrasing for what he said to me while we were sitting at a bar smoking cigars and drinking whiskey together, because I am lucky enough to call that man my friend. And it started as an acquaintance thing. He's a customer at my game store.
Yeah.
And that's where it started. I'm lucky enough now to call him my friend. Matter of fact, yesterday was his 50th wedding anniversary. So
Nice.
God damn.
he's a great man. I've heard some stories from him and they're phenomenal. But it was literally some of that whole, like, I'll tell you, I'll never say it again. Like, I'll tell you the story, but I will never repeat it. Like, that's it. He's agreed to be on the show to tell stories about that, what it was like just being in that era. And he did 20 years.
Yeah.
So he was, and on his 18th, literally went and volunteered. Didn't get drafted, literally volunteered, did 20 years after that.
Nice.
But yeah, he's part of that generation of even those stories that are around it, what it just was like being in at the time, what it was like coming home, like all of that. He'll tell those stories, but the actual war story, what it was like to be behind the trigger and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He won't tell those stories.
Sure.
But he's agreed to be on the show. I wanted to run it by you guys, but
Yeah, we've talked about that.
But
yeah.
this dude, I mean, just for the other people that know what this means and stuff like that. So he's in his third round of chemo for cancer. So, third round of cancer. He's in chemo again for this round.
Yeah.
And I was like, 3 rounds. And he's like, yeah, the last two didn't get me, so fuck this one. Like, he's just that kind of guy, right? I sell nerdy shit and he participates. He's a war gamer as well. And, but the chemo causes him to shake.
Yeah.
And so he has a hard time putting some of the smaller models and stuff together.
Great at throwing dice, though.
It's great at throwing dice.
Right.
And he loves my wife. He'll come in and he'll just go like, hey, where's the pretty one? My wife comes out and he's like, that's all I'm here for. It's just to hug young women.
Oh,
And stuff like that.
I thought it was a puppy at this point.
And at this point, yeah. And but I helped him put together some models one time, and he came in and dropped 2 Fuente Forbidden X 2020s on my table as my tip for building. And I was like, son of a bitch, dude, it'd have been cheaper just to pay me. Like, fuck. Cool. But he's a great fucking dude. I'd love to have him on the show. And that's an example of these guys are out there, but they're getting up there. Like, he joined at 18. He's now 70.
If you listen and you want to be on the show and you were in Vietnam or Korea,
any of them.
You know what I think would be really fun to have on the show to tell stories?
Who?
And not the stories that, like, the fucking no bullshit stories. Sergeant Major Rick Lamb.
Fuck, what a dude.
Yeah.
Because
he's watched the show.
I got the pleasure of being able to hang out with him for a little while.
I'll text the fucker, man. I'll get him out here.
And some of the shit that I heard in person with him.
He's funny.
Like, my favorite story from him is, the Korean War ended in the 80s, and I was there. And I was like, wait, what?
He fired the last shot.
Like, yeah.
He fired the last shot.
Yeah, they thought we were a battalion-sized element, and there was like 8 of us. And I was like, bro!
Yeah, that's a badass
There's
story.
some dudes out there.
Yeah.
And that all those generations, you said it best, the war fighters that came before us.
You know what?
Those dudes, I'm not going to lie. Do we have access to getting a hold of some of the fucking modern vet celebrities? Sure.
Yeah.
We do.
I don't think
They're
Rick
just,
Lamb.
I'm not going to, this is going to sound really fucking dickish. I just don't find them as interesting.
I don't think
Like-
Rick Lamb's a vet celebrity.
No, he's not,
He probably should be.
but he doesn't want it.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
Well, fucking Black Hawk Down was loosely based on him.
But he's one of those guys that, like, you have no idea who he is until you meet him and talk with him.
Yeah.
And then you go look it up, and then you realize, like, oh, I've known about this guy for fucking ever.
He's
And
such
I
a
just
cool
didn't know
fucking
it was
dude, though.
this dude.
Yeah, he's such a cool fucking guy, man. Like, that dude he's fucking crazy.
But
Like,
those guys were a different level.
You know what? I want to give a shout out and another remembrance to another member of the Greatest Generation, and I might catch some shit for this. But Queen Elizabeth, she was a veteran. Facts, she was an
vehicle
ally.
mechanic.
She was. She was an ally. She was fucking.
The way my country's set up.
Yeah, I know. I've been under care since 1776. You know what, dude?
75.
A lot of the fucking shit that we did in the last 30 years like with like combat and shit, Brits were right there with us.
Yeah.
But
And they were bleeding with us, and they've bled on the battlefield with
Sure.
them. You know what I mean?
I have reps. I literally have people that sell me games that literally served in the British forces, that served in that army.
Now, don't get me wrong. Did she marry your cousin? Absolutely. That is fact.
What's that old saying? Keep your friends
English-
closer, your enemies closer.
The English, but the English figurehead.
Yeah, but she's still a veteran. She was a veteran. She was.
Cool. I will sign off on that when we get a list in here of every veteran that dies and we call them out. The only reason that we're talking about it is the fact that she was the fucking queen.
She was the queen, but
To
she
a
also
country that I hold no allegiance to.
she also held how many countries together over fucking 50, 70 years?
But she was a good figurehead.
Yeah, she wasn't a piece.
Now-
It's not like she was a piece of shit.
Yeah, she
So,
wasn't a piece of shit.
I saw a CNN interview that there was a reporter from CNN that was walking around the streets in London and just found this random chick and was like, I'm going to interview you about the Queen's death. And it backfired horribly.
Yeah.
Because the guy's like, oh, blah, 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 and all this stuff. And, giving a little history about, everything. And how do you feel about her passing? And this chick's like, I didn't really like her anyways. Like, I'm not a big fan of monarchy. Like, I don't think one family should
you see
rule.
that video of
and that was like the whole premise of the whole entire interview. And the guy's like, and back to you.
Nobody gives a shit about monarchy because it's symbolic, man. It doesn't mean anything. That's why they have a prime minister. That's why they have parliament, right?
Did you see that video of the Irish soccer game?
Yeah.
Where they're all singing, Lizzie's in a box, in a box, Lizzie's in a box, in a box. Like,
my wife told me a cool fact about the queen, though.
that she's old.
No, when the I think it was the guy from Saudi Arabia, some prince came, right? And they weren't letting women drive at the time. The queen herself drove him around
Yeah.
That's awesome.
just to spite him.
Yeah.
Like, she drove.
Because why? Because fuck you. That's
Yeah.
why. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
No,
pretty
she was
baller.
well known in her youth as being a firecracker bitch, man. And being like, oh, you oppress people? Watch this, bitch. She was
But
well
imagine,
known for that.
I think she became queen at like 24.
25.
25
years old. They handed her the fucking keys to the world, man.
Imagine like
Fuck no. Fuck no.
So,
you know what I was doing
now-
at 25? Degen shit.
now I did see the memes have been amazing.
The memes have
And
been
one of my
great.
favorite ones is
the internet never
The
disappoints.
Spirit Halloween banner on front of Buckingham Palace. That shit
that
cracked
was
me
funny.
up.
Prince Charles finally got a job after 72
and it's like
years.
his first day at school.
76 years old.
After his first day at school picture and shit. Yeah, those were funny.
The best one I seen-
The fucking the Betty White verses, and it was
That's
like we
the
still
best
one
one I
bitch, like all that. Like, yeah. Don't get me wrong.
My
the
favorite
memes have been
one.
amazing.
My favorite one is the one of fucking hulked out Princess Di
Yes.
waiting at the pearly gates.
yeah.
So
Speaking
yes,
of-
she was a firecracker. There's also all the other shit that's come out that she was like.
I saw the other one where like
I mean, how fucked up-
do you remember when the Undertaker, like in WWF back in the day, was like laying down in the thing,
Yeah, just sitting straight up.
and he choked the dude out from the thing, and it was like Lizzie pretended to be dead until Meghan Markle comes to pay her respects. I was fucking dying.
But then there's all that other shit that has come out that like the Meghan Markle situation. How fucked do you have to be as the monarch where somebody gives up being a royal?
So
That's
I
just
got-
a Meghan Markle thing.
I
Because every little girl
But
wants to become a princess.
but-
they become a princess and they're like, this isn't good enough.
But a prince,
I'm just fucking
a
saying.
prince literally was like, yeah, I'd rather move to California.
Because happy wife, happy life. That's all I'm saying.
It's gotta be golden pussy, dude.
That's got to be amazing, right?
Golden pussy.
No, the alternative is hell. So what's he going to do?
Did y'all?
No, they're Church of England, man. They literally made their own
No,
church so Henry
I
VIII
don't know,
can be
man.
head bitches
My
and
wife
get
and I were
divorced.
talking about that, and I was like, I'm going to tell you right now, if I have the opportunity to go royal, if
I'm going royal.
some
Yeah,
duchess or
sorry.
shit shows up and goes like, it's you're going to come be Duke of whatever.
and how?
no, that's when
I'm going to be like, babe, I'll pay spousal maintenance,
No.
but fucking deuces. Like, fucking,
that's when you go, but I have a maid.
right? And I told my wife the same thing. I was like, some fucking royal shows up. I don't give a fuck. Fucking the Duke of fucking cock in me stand fucking shows up.
Yeah.
And you have the opportunity. Yep.
You better
Bye.
fucking go.
Fucking buy.
Yeah.
Like, What the fuck does she have on him
So
that he was willing to give that up? Like, no, fuck you. Like, there's no fucking way.
the one thing I don't like about human nature, well, there's a lot of things, but this one in particular, because it pertains to this situation.
I'm going to go with anxiety and hope.
The fact that there are people that are shit talking the queen now that she's dead,
Yeah.
but didn't say fuck all
Nope.
when she was alive.
Not a
That's not
goddamn
true.
thing.
I shit talked the queen while she
I'm
was
not,
alive.
no, I'm not talking about you.
Oh, okay.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about like
I don't give a fuck. I'll
Like,
shit talk you
you're
while you're
talking
alive
about-
or
you're talking
dead.
about
news
media
publications.
pundits
Yeah.
and shit like that.
people
Okay.
that are digging up shit to fucking just for fucking clicks.
Yep.
To talk shit about the queen when it's like she was alive a month ago. Why weren't you talking shit then?
Yeah. You didn't say shit during
You
her
didn't say
fucking
a
Diamond Jubilee,
fucking
motherfucker. Like,
But
yeah.
now you want to
Look,
talk shit because she can't defend herself.
She did some dope shit. Like, I appreciate the fact that she always went to the Highland Games.
Yeah.
Like, every fucking year went to the Highland Games.
Went to the Super Bowl too.
I
Love
fucking
the Super
appreciate
Bowl.
that. Somebody read me a fact the other day that was like, well, she was alive for every World Cup. And I was like, so has every 90 plus fucking. It's like,
Anybody that's older than 95.
I was like, and?
Yeah.
But like, what the fuck?
Was she attending at one?
And I'm like,
Right?
she gets credit because she's old? Like, I don't.
Yeah, that's weird.
Fucking Pee-wee was alive for every fucking World Cup.
Pee-wee was older than her.
So fuck up.
It does
right
have
there.
to be
Maybe that's why
interesting.
Pee-wee holds it on. He was like, the queen's gone, fucking made it. And then just fucking checked out. Like it was fucking.
I mean, it does have to be interesting to live in a country that has a monarch.
I'm fascinated by it, man. I'll be honest. This is interesting to me.
I mean, there was also video clips of people like in the streets chanting, "The Queen is dead, long live the king."
yeah.
Well, that's
That's
best
tradition.
newscast I ever saw, though, was that motherfucker that came out and was like, the queen has passed. We now have a new king. Long live the king. Then, the queen has passed. It's like,
That's how they announced it to the world.
I was like, that's fucking awesome.
Well, actually, Caitlin sent me like the video of the two guys walking out to like make
With
the
the
announcement.
frame. And then it cuts to the chick. It was like, couples, best friend costumes or whatever. with
Yeah,
the
she's
two
like
people
Halloween
and-
costume goals.
It's like, oh, okay. So, yeah, England got a new prime minister. Fucking tell me the new prime minister's name.
I don't know her name, but she's
Exactly.
cute. She's cute.
But that's the one that actually is running the fucking country.
Yeah.
Oh,
100%.
absolutely.
But we're all,
Absolutely.
I'm like, so.
But that's what I'm
cares?
saying. That's why I'm fascinated by the royal family.
I
right?
like
I'm
some of the
fascinated by it.
history that's involved.
Because
in
they're
it.
one of the wealthiest families on the planet and actually wield no power.
No,
No,
I like it
it's not that.
because
It's got
like
nothing to do with that.
every year there's people that have to give them like one hammer and 57 nails and all this random fucking bullshit that they've been doing for like
It's
1,000 years.
Somebody did the math and it was like every Briton, it cost them like $1, in American currency, it was like $1.08 just for waking up. It's paid to the royal family.
Huh.
In taxes. It's like $1.08 a day. Just waking up.
Dude, you want to talk about long game. Long game hustle, though.
Well, they're
fucking real respect's real, dude.
But
Like,
they're
that's
worth,
awesome.
They're worth billions.
Sure.
Billions of dollars.
Yeah.
And they have no impact.
So
I saw something where like all the old Commonwealth realms wanted the jewels from the crown jewels back now that she's dead. I was like, get fucked. I was like, you got conquered, bitch.
The one that actually,
I got a question for
the
you
one that I
guys.
100% support was that whole thing that was like all of the shit that the Royal Museum or whatever has from Egypt. And Egypt was like, we want our shit back. And it was like, you didn't dig the shit up. Like, you were nothing. You were nothing till
Yeah.
England showed up.
Yeah.
And then they did a thing. And that's why I think the Pee-wee guy fucking held on as long as he did. And he was like, we bailed him out of World War II. I just want to see that bitch die. And now I can go.
Oh, Lizzie
So
died?
Mission
All right,
accomplished.
I'm out.
To like fucking.
So if England as a country decides that they no longer want to be a monarchy, and they're like, you know what, fuck this royal family, we're just going to go to a democracy. and
That's
we're
what the
gonna have
royal
our-
guard's for.
Our
All 12 of them.
Let's just say it happens, right? Does the royal family, do they own like Buckingham Palace?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Do you know
imagine
that the queen, the royal family actually owns a McDonald's?
Yeah.
I could see that.
No, I shit you not.
Yeah.
So a McDonald's got opened up in England, but the land actually belongs to the crown.
Yeah.
It doesn't belong to, it's not like privately held and it's not part of the British
Sure.
like open land, like where it could be bought by a private whatever. It's actually owned by the crown. So that McDonald's, technically speaking,
That's funny because McDonald's is a real estate company
Yeah, they
that sells shitty
100%.
hamburgers.
Yeah. So
Bite your tongue.
I fucking love McDonald's,
I fucking
dude.
do. I love McDonald's. I will
with
fucking
McDonald's.
say it. I
Yep.
love McDonald's.
I love it.
I don't give a fuck,
Dude,
man. Like, I know it's poison. I don't care.
Since we opened the
The
store,
only thing
my
I like
wife
is
and
their
I,
chicken
my
nuggets,
wife
and
and
it's
I
the
have a
worst.
tradition of midnight cheeseburgers on Saturday.
Fucking with it, dude.
And so we close on at midnight, and we immediately go to McDonald's, and I get myself a double QPC, no pickles.
Fucking A, man. Fucking A.
Yep.
Like, I love McDonald's. I
But
fuck
yes, the crown itself actually owns all that property.
with it. Well, let's say that they do stop becoming okay. They still have Papua New Guinea, Canada. There's like fucking still like 47 fucking countries that they rule.
But is it
Like-
is it under the royal family? Is it under?
They all have their own constitutional democracies,
So here's the interesting thing: is now Lizzie's dead,
right?
and she's on like 12 different countries' currency,
Right.
but she's gone.
I know that Australia is petitioning to put Steve Irwin on their currency now.
on the tenner,
Yeah.
the tenner only.
And I was like, dude, I'm with that.
But
But
so
it's interesting. And the big question was there was people that were abroad when she died. And their passport says that their passport was granted by the
Queen.
grace of the Queen.
So I looked into that.
Oh.
Still valid.
But it's an interesting question because of the way they phrase shit. And
But-
that's what's so interesting about monarchies is that it's all this one person that everything pivots on. And it's like, so now that one person's gone, I'm not going to lie. And maybe this is, I'm too American or whatever. And we did like throw off the shackles of a fucking monarchy and said like, hey, we can do it fucking better ourselves. No, I'm not saying looking at current situation that we made the right call, but
Right.
we did say we could do it better ourselves. What are these countries going to do now that they have to reboot all of their money and reboot their fucking passports and reboot all this kind of stuff?
Here's
Like,
my thing. Why do
are
you
we
need
gonna-
to?
But
Why do you need to? And honestly, this is an honest question because George Washington's not alive and he's on our one.
how many countries do you
Like,
we
think?
haven't.
Yeah, but that's in God we trust.
So how many countries do you think are going to have complete and total separation within the next 12 months?
So they're gonna try.
Now,
What's going to stop them?
the first one that
I don't know.
literally I call Australia. Australia, I think, is going to be first.
Australia could do it though. They're big enough and independent enough they could. But Papua New Guinea, the crown helps them, whether they want to admit it or not. The fucking being under English rule fucking helps them. Canada, they could probably do it. Sure, you know,
Just nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody gives a fuck. But
Like, is this the point where Canada's like, you know what? We can probably do this on our own.
well, and now here's the thing though: is
Hey,
if they-
DC, it's time for a land grab.
if they
Just saying. You ever seen Papua New Guinea? Our currency's way more stable.
yeah, like well,
Just
and
saying.
but
Brexit fucked up the pound. We could absolutely go in and just
Here's-
absolutely dominate.
Here's
Hey,
the
DC,
thing though.
go look at Canada too while you're at it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though. Like
Come on,
like,
meteorite.
like fucking, like they could do it. Canada could do it, but then they still have the French problem. Because remember, French Canada is still owned by the French. So
Look, speaking French and being owned by the French are two different things.
they fall under they fall under France.
I think it's Quebec just trying to hang on for just being assholes.
They're just being dicks. Yeah,
That's
they're being
it.
French. It's very French of them. That's all it is. They're
Fuck 'em. What is it, like 14 people? Like,
Well,
just
it's-
fucking go get rid of them.
It's either that or you play hockey. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
Like, it's Canada. You got to be a douchebag French fucking Quebec, or you play hockey.
Do you know what you know what I fucking hate about Quebecois? The fucking Quebecians.
Yeah.
They all fucking speak English.
Every single one.
Fucking
of them.
all of
Oh,
them.
they don't. They pretend not to.
Because they all take 12 years of English. Like literally from like their entire grade
As
school.
they would say, grade 1 to grade 12.
Fuck them. They all speak English. And then you talk to them, they're like, oh, no, or Francais.
Point.
And it's like,
Point.
fuck you, dude.
Yeah, I
And
know you fucking know
know.
what I'm saying.
It's like, have you been to Germany?
Yeah.
I know you have.
They
You ever
all
been to
speak
Germany?
English.
They all fucking speak English. Every single one of them, front to back. They all fucking speak English.
Yeah, if you get your ass whipped by a country twice, you would too.
They all speak
Bitches.
English. So here's the deal.
I don't speak German.
I'm
Just gonna throw that out there.
You're welcome.
If you go and you try to speak German, like just give it
Yeah.
an attempt. Right, they go.
Translation. Hey.
Then they go like English, and it's like, yeah, fucker. Like,
Yeah. Obviously, I'm struggling. You prick.
yeah, did my Old Navy T-shirt not fucking give it away? Like, what the fuck? Fucking douches. But then you go to Africa and
what's
you
our time
realize
at right
how
now?
fucked over England
Like
made
4
them.
hours.
Somewhere around 2 hours, I think.
God damn. Sign us off. We're fucking
this is
done
a
with
long
this
one,
shit.
boys. All right, fucking brought to you by warfightertobacco.com. Use that code FTFO. Score yourself that sweet 15% off. OLS.us for all your CBD needs. Use that code FreedomFriends25. That'll get you a quarter off your order. And of course, Icy Tech Coolers. Go to icytech.com. For those who get it, that's Freedom Friends 10 over there to get you 10% off. Otherwise, boys, I'm going to raise my glass. I'm going to say thanks for being my freedom friend. Cheers.
I'm going to give a last thank you to fucking Reed for that fucking bourbon. Because
Right?
God,
That's
dude,
delicious,
that
buddy.
shit was
Yeah.
awesome, dude.
And thank you, Reed, for being a freedom friend. Thanks, buddy. Fuck you, convict.
Hey, Gary.
And Dave, you look delicious.
Gary, this is
as
just
always.
for you, buddy. Fuck you, buddy.
Like, share, subscribe, smash those buttons. Tell your mom.
I still like you,
Tell
Gary.
your friends.
Tell your fucking mom's friends. Tell them about this fucking show.
That it's almost
growing.
ass-eating seating it, and David has grown a brand new goatee.
Ooh, he's got a goater, man. That's like
He's got that shit trimmed to look like a chair.
He's
I'm
getting
just saying.
ready.
yeah. And check out the Facebook group. All right, Freedom Friends on Facebook. All right, it's becoming a great meme group. So if you're over there, check out Freedom Friends Facebook group.
Oh,
But if
speaking
you
of that,
hold on, there's a rule now on stealing memes.
No.
Whoa.
That rule is why I said hold on. I can talk a little shit right here.
All right.
Because Tracy posted that.
Yeah.
Tracy wants some dick pics.
100%.
That is my interpretation of that whole entire post.
That's
and
what it sounded
every
like.
comment that she's put on every fucking meme that's gone on after that is you owe somebody a nude.
Yeah.
Every single comment of every single meme after she put that post is you owe somebody a nude.
That sounds like permission in Texas.
All right, guys. All right,
what I'm
guys.
saying.
Just fucking flutter. Flutter with the D pics.
Ask first.
Oh, speaking of dick pics, I got a story to tell real quick. My boy said, Dad,
All right.
I was on the bus and I got airdropped something.
Yeah, you told me this on Saturday.
So
No, this is a fucking work of art.
he gets airdropped a dick that looks like a minion. It's painted like a minion.
It's fucking amazing. The craftsmanship, like you gotta respect it.
I sent it
Black
to
box
I
right
s-
over that.
I said, well, I know one guy who will give us an honest opinion on whether this is a good picture or not.
Gary, what do you think?
I sent it to Ross Patterson.
And that makes sense.
His comment was, bravo, sir. So yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's impressive. Like, if you're gonna fucking do it, that's full
That's
send.
the way it's done right
That's
there.
full send,
But
man.
he got airdropped that on his bus. And I thought
On his school bus.
On his school bus. I thought that was
If it
funny.
didn't have a caption that just said banana.
I'm kind of jealous. I'm not gonna lie.
I think
Banana.
Mike, it remind me to tell you about my shower loophole that I figured out.
3 little things, guys. That's
called a
not
glory
hard to
hole.
do. Just fucking do it. All right, Jazz.
Fucking, what is it? Smoke on? I think I got smoke on. Smoke on?
Oh, drink on.
God damn it! Freedom the fuck off. Jesus fuck.
As a former sniper, that's not a loophole. It's a glory hole.
A loophole's way different.